Oh. All right. Welcome to Gauntlet Games Project Dark. This is session number 3. I'm Michael Matthews. We're using, as always, Gauntlet inclusivity policy, which includes X card as well as time change. Um, I'm Michael Matthews. I'm him. I'm improv GM on Twitter. If you want to go down, and if Will and Laura.
Sure. My name is Will. My pronouns are he, him. I am @WM Skyfall on Twitter. And I will be playing Dominik, the sneaky thief who is in way over his head.
All right. Hi, I'm Laura. My pronouns are she, her. I am playing Twylla, a thief that speaks a lot and gets herself into a lot more trouble than she should.
All right. Do you want to do a quick recap of what happened last time?
All right. Well, the inciting, I guess I'll start. The inciting action began when Dominik had an opportunity to raid Telbrook Manor to steal some jewels that were going to be in the area, and instead he found a cache of 6 mystical Fey coin and a rebellion plot that was going to use them as currency to overthrow the queen and dismantle the Thieves Guild. So this is way more heat than he was expecting, and also an existential threat against his organization and his way of life. So he pulled Twylla into the engagement to try and figure out how they could blunt this plot.
Yeah. So Twylla came in. She and Dominik went to an abandoned house of an old family. The House of Ravenholm, where we find the leader of Ravenholm and the wife, Miss Telbrook, and they are running with some pretty shady characters and some witches. So we have just escaped the Ravenholm mansion after our break-in. With some goodies and some new knowledge now about the plot.
Yeah, and as I recall, you also found the other 2 Fey coins?
No, we did not.
Okay.
There are 2 other fake. We know there are 2 other fake coins. We did not encounter them.
Yep. So what you did get though is all those letters that had been collected, and a quick kind of glance through them. Uh, these are the kind of things you keep in case you need some sort of blackmail for people who you are with. Like, these are the correspondences that come back and forth about this particular sort of upcoming revolution. Uh, there's a couple details that are not specifically spelled out in the letters, but as like the 2 of you are going through them, what seems to be clear, at least one of the people who is involved seems to be Raviana, which is she's the high priest of the Church of the Ancestors, which is the largest religious group in the Saturnine, and not only has a ton of power, but also was never particularly happy that Queen Eleanor was the one who took over, because she is of kind of common ancestry. Her mother was not noble. So the king married under what a lot of them.
So the other thing that we learned while eavesdropping on the meeting that occurred at House Ravenholm was that something was going to happen at High Mass on Sunday, and that papers had been placed in the temple that might be incriminating to this group. How long do we have until Sunday High Mass?
We can say today was a Thursday. It was on your way back, so you've got a couple days. But the other thing is the jackdaws were being fairly were being rounded up. There seemed to have been some of the hideouts and other things that you had for such a long time that were suddenly uh, raided.
Was there any indication in the pile of blackmail material who the Jackdaw mole might be?
Not as of yet.
And we hadn't heard any names, right? While we were in the manor.
No, you hadn't heard any. You actually still have those ones available to you. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
there was not a name. You did not hear the name of the mole itself. The dining room, for example, was the one that had all of the conspirators. Well, at least the conspirators who were there talking. So as of yet, you are not sure who the mole could be. It could be. I mean, just from the stuff you saw, whoever it was high enough that they seem to have information on where like a number of hideouts are, because it looks like several things got raided.
I don't know about you, but I would rather that whatever these people have planned at Mass on Sunday doesn't happen. I don't know if that means getting there on Sunday while everyone's distracted, or getting there Saturday night and
Camping
thoroughly,
out.
thoroughly thwarting them before whatever happens.
You will be thwarted. I shall thwart you.
Yeah. And then I think I think that going in, maybe, I think that we should probably canvass the area, see if we can get those papers that they talked about, right, that are in the temple. I don't know if that's a part of the, I'm assuming that Mass is held at the temple, right?
Yeah, and in particular, you have High Mass coming up, which is uh, it's a place where the queen comes. It is a supposed to be sort of a link between all of the people at this point. It's a celebration of ancestors. It's where the regent basically comes in and kind of makes that reconnection. It's a thing that happens every year. The certain people make a big to do of it. It may not have been a thing that you were hugely interested in, but the queen herself should be there during the actual that Sunday mass.
Okay.
I feel like if we try to break in during Sunday Mass, we are working against a clock of whatever event they have planned, which might be anything up to and including an assassination.
Right. Well, I'm wondering if we maybe have a couple of infiltrations, because I think that I do think that we need to be there Sunday, at least to just like make sure that our side is running smoothly and to make sure they don't have anything up their sleeves. So I think that maybe breaking in a couple nights before, and maybe then staying outside of the place and just keeping lookout that Saturday night up until Sunday morning, where we can then go into the church and then just do all that jazz.
That makes sense to me.
Right.
There's also the question of what to do with this pile of blackmail. Do we hand it off to a spy master, or provide a tip that they retrieve it, or do we wait until we get even more incriminating evidence to go along with it?
I think we need even more incriminating evidence, because right now we don't know who we can trust. We both know that you and I aren't the mole, but it could be pretty high up. We don't know.
Right, and I don't know about you, but I can't imagine the Queen's spy master taking the likes of me seriously.
Or me, for that matter. Yeah.
You just dress up a little bit. We'll look fancy.
What is it called? The monocle?
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, me with my 0 ranks in courtesy.
He'll be great.
All right. Well, you do have a little bit of time to you will have one scouting or casing opportunity if you want to say what skill you're using and what kind of information you're trying to find out about the temple, or if there's other things that you want to do.
So will this be the casing for like the Saturday night break-in where we're trying to get the papers? Or is this all going to be kind of one long break-in?
I'll be honest, probably the one break-in will do it. Where though the thing is, if you decide what you want to do is then after this, if you want to make a thing happen in the service, then I'll also kind of because I'll do a thing for that. So like with the fourth session will in some cases decide on what you do. So if you decide I get this information and then you're like, oh, we're gonna do a thing during the service, awesome. Then I'll put stuff together for that.
Okay. Right. So yeah, I'm assuming the temple's usually open every day just for people to go in and talk with their ancestors.
Yeah, because people have their own shrines and such, but there also are for this is a city where everyone can seemingly okay, Paul might be joining us. He thought it was Wednesday. Yay. But pretty much everyone in the city can essentially go back and say, I am related to this like very like popular and sort of revered ancestor. Like a lot of those shrines, they have the bigger ones inside the actual church itself. So yes, because of that, a lot of people do come and go out of it. Security always gets a little more thick when it comes to like before the high mass. But I mean, the couple days coming up, it's going to be kind of business as usual. Okay.
So if Paul shows up, I think we probably rope him in as a magic expert because the other side has witches.
Yeah, I agree.
You got witches? We brought a Paul.
All right. So do we want to start? Can we start canvassing?
Yeah, if you want, you can go ahead and start casing.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Twylla is probably going to go and pretend that she has like some well-known ancestor, and is going to be praying to them in this very trying time of her life.
Yeah. And is there a particular skill or something you're trying to find out while you're heading through in particular?
I think that I'm trying to get the layout of the temple in general, and maybe just like be listening for different rumblings from maybe the attendants that take care of the temple, any gossip to hear from the townsfolk, that kind of thing.
Okay. All should be, all be popping in.
I apologize, everyone. I slackered out pretty hard for today.
Oh, no, as mentioned, we're kind of talking time. Time is a weird thing right now.
Yeah.
Like there's a point, I mean, I had meetings. I had a meeting today, and I had to remember it was Tuesday.
I've also got like ADHD, so like my routines are just completely shot right now. So
it's not great.
Yeah, I actually was. I was up at about 8:15 on Sunday because I thought it was Monday, just sitting in a Zoom room waiting for my coworkers to hop on so we could start the.
That sucks. How much time did you spend waiting?
Only about 10 or 15 minutes because I went on there a little bit early because we usually like it's a double team meeting, so my team usually gets on a little bit early to just kind of chit chat and whatever. And so after about 3 minutes past the time the meeting was supposed to start, we thought it was supposed to start, I was like, man, I'm gonna like send a message to everyone. And I pulled out my phone, and on the save screen it tells me what day of the week it is, and I was like, Sunday? Why are we having a meeting on Sunday?
Why are all you lazy people? Oh.
I slept for another like 16 hours.
Kind of like when you're a kid and you think it's Saturday and you go down to like chill out, watch cartoons, and then suddenly it turns out it's Friday. You got to go to school.
I swear, when I was a kid, like I remember being in like, kindergarten and first grade, like asking my parents about the fact that like Saturday and Sunday, like there was something different. Like it was even in the summer, I always knew there was a different smell in the air or a different electricity. Like there was something different about Saturday and Sunday that I just always instinctively knew. But
And so I found a place that lets you use cards a little bit easier.
I saw you mention that.
And so I put that in. I also put a link to uh, the character sheet. You can go ahead and take the Regal Thief. They will be able to fill you in momentarily. Do you have an idea for a name?
Uh, I will in a second. I am not authorized.
Oh, you should be. You actually have. You actually have access to that whole folder.
You know, I wonder if it says on Roll20. I wonder if it because it
Oh,
has my name. I wonder if like I'm not actually
Oh,
logged in.
okay. I thought yeah we. No, yeah, you should be authorized. You played.
Because yeah, well, you're reusing the same Roll20 game for
Yeah, it's
like
the it's the one that we played there. Let me. Yeah, Paul, you're on there.
uh,
Let me throw you another invite just in case.
I'm gonna sign out and sign back in and see what that does. But I mean, it has
Oh.
my name, so
Yeah, let me throw that in the chat for soon. Will not help you if you're not in.
yeah, that's the one. YWC2. Yeah. It says either you're not logged in or you don't have access to this page, but I can access my profile, so I am logged in. Did I piss you off on Thursday or something?
No. um, we didn't even play on Thursday.
That's for being late. You can watch, but you can't play.
Yeah, then today was me because of they had to move my once they announced that school was no longer meeting in person. I got a hold of the administrator who did my evaluation because we're supposed to have a meeting on Monday. I'm like, yeah, that meeting's not happening today, is it? She's like, no.
All right, so if I go to the link, it doesn't work. But if I actually navigate to my prior games, I'm getting in now. All right. And people didn't like the cards in Roll20.
Roll20 is not particularly good with cards.
Yeah, it worked well enough, I guess.
It's functional. It's functional. One can make it work. It's clearly not their primary. It's clearly not their primary focus.
I am going to use the NPC card deck, and my name.
Oh no, we actually put a there's actually a link I put in the Roll20 chat.
Yeah, but you said you wanted to know what my name was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you said card deck. I thought you meant that. Okay.
No, so my name apparently is Samantha. Samantha.
Okay.
I am the captain of peace.
Okay. Yeah, I use name generators all the time.
Yeah. I backed this Kickstarter like a while back. It's eight decks for like NPC generation, and so one of them is all names, one of them is quirks, one's relationships, one is like professions. It's actually kind of neat.
Cool. Yeah, no, Paul and I know each other through the Fear the Boot podcasts conventions and the online forums and stuff.
Yeah, and actually even some we were two Skaven teams that kicked ass in a Blood Bowl. Wasn't that you and I that were like first and second at the end of that season?
I never came in first or second. My Skaven got beat pretty hard.
It was my first time. Like, I mean, I had played that game a little bit like single player, but I'd never played the board game or card game, whichever it is, and I'd never played against other people, and I did really well that season somehow.
Yeah, I got it decently well, but everyone was too wounded by the end of it. Okay, so I don't know if you two want to fill in, or yeah, we'd actually say this is you did say you needed a little bit of magical help. So you do have you have a friend Samantha who might be a good person to go check with.
All right. Do we want to play out the sort of clandestine pulling him into the organization, or do we want to smash cut to the three of us in a private location?
Yeah, that sounds kind of fun. If you want to find out how you're going to grab her.
Ooh, smashing.
So, how does Samantha how does Samantha usually interact with the jackdaws, and what is her reaction to the fact that over the last couple of days, mercenaries appear to have been dismantling the Thieves Guild?
I think that was this the setting where like everyone was a thief, was in the guild or else?
There's a number of guilds, but I think we kind of talked that way. It's not the actual part of it. But yeah, there's a number of guilds, but the Jackdaws are the number one, the main sort of thieves guild in the Saturnine.
I'm thinking maybe I'm like my type of skill is maybe more freelance, so like kind of open to all the guilds to rent for a night, kind of a thing. So with the Jackdaws being one of the bigger ones, that's kind of disheartening that one of my more regular sources of income is in danger.
So it's sounding like we're going to have to pay Sam in order to obtain some help here.
Oh, that's all right. I think I have something that he won't. I have something that she won't be able to refuse. Sam is what pronouns does Sam use?
She, her, I guess.
Okay.
Hadn't thought that far ahead yet. I only have
all right. I'm gonna go check on the Fey coin, the stash of Fey coin that I left. And I'm going to retrieve 2 more from it if it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I will carry 2. I don't think we want to be carrying around a funeral. So there'll be 4 between the 3 of us.
Sounds good.
So I think we leave a note. How are you typically contacted? And I imagine that it's not safe to be an agent of larceny in the city right now, to be like haunting your usual haunts.
Yeah, there's a candy store that handles messaging for like my little group of independents. So you probably would leave a note behind the counter while buying a lollipop, and I'd track you down.
Oh, you're a little hard to hear right now.
Oh, I wonder. Remember how like last week my microphone kept getting changed? I wonder if that's. Well.
Do you want to use the same token you used for Eleanor?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Cool.
Oh, I should have just been Eleanor. Oh wait, I was nimble or something, wasn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, my volume, for some reason, my microphone volume keeps getting set to 56%. And it's always exactly 56% whenever I get quiet.
Bizarre.
Yeah. I wonder if there's some sort of like auto compensating setting I'm not finding. Is this better though, the volume now?
Yep. Significantly, yeah.
Good.
So I feel like we probably leave a note for you at the candy store that highlights like a tertiary backup location. Like it's not one of the usual spots. It's not one of the backup usual spots. It's one of the burn after using backup usual spots.
Remember where Johan's 8th birthday party was when we were kids? Go there.
Is that the one where Johan stabbed that other kid? Yeah, of course I remember that.
Unforgettable.
Wait, that was a Lifetime ban. We can't go back there.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Good times. Good times.
I'm imagining this might be in like some sort of overgrown public park.
Like the secret garden.
A good rose maze that we can walk through.
Yeah.
There are several of those.
All right.
You have other people kind of milling about their day. It's fairly easy to kind of get some alone time. Like there is in the Queenswood Circle, there's a large park. They're the Royal Woods that are open for people to kind of go through. Or smaller ones too.
When we're back in the city, when Twylla and I are back in the city, how has the Jackdaw roundup progressed? How bad has it gotten?
Yeah, when you check with a few people, there's some that kind of ran to ground, but there were a whole bunch taken. No one's quite sure what's going on. Some of the leadership also not grabbed, and the thing they're saying though, they were not grabbed by the regular sort of police, mercenaries, the Hawks, were what kind of came in and grabbed them. And as far as I can tell, they're not being taken to like police, like the police stations.
That's concerning.
And you mentioned last session that it wasn't the Watch that was doing the rounding up. It was some sort of mercenary troop.
Yeah, the Hawks, like the mercenary. It was like a mercenary group. Which, if they're going to do a huge thing like that, they might bring in like professional mercs, but it's a little weird. It's also weird that you weren't even really seeing police with them. Yeah, basically a lot of people are lying low right now. A lot of the hideouts, like the bar that you had met in previously, that's sort of that thieves bar, is empty. I mean, they didn't take the guy that owns it or anything, but like people aren't going there. A couple of the locals who aren't thieves might pop in, but it's beyond that. It's a ghost town.
Hey, Michael.
Yep.
On my tab on the sheet, it says like name as a former mercenary who found family with their fellow thieves. Did you put that in after I said the whole freelance mercenary thing?
Oh no, I put that with the wrong one. You should be the Regal Thief, not that one.
Oh, okay. I just wondered if that was a coincidence or if you had filled that in after the fact.
No, that actually is the Bruiser Thief.
Okay.
Yeah, you are the Regal Thief.
All right, I'll change that.
I will go. Okay, I put the wrong one in there.
All right. Sorry for the interruption.
No worries. And you actually have like your diamond stuff. If you want to take a look, are like spells.
All right. Cool.
And your Jack of Hearts makes you a bit more. You can turn other things into. Add to 2 trailing cards as action, either face up or face down. If suited, may play another card. Yeah, you can basically pull stuff off of your deck. Like ones you've already discarded, you can pull up some of those and use those.
So I play 2 extra cards, and the only effect they have is that if they're suited, I get to do something else.
Well, no, if suited, you can keep it. They basically you can take the up to 2 cards off your discard pile. On the top of it.
If they're not suited, there's no extra effect or anything.
Because they basically just act like regular cards. So if you play a non-suited card, it won't.
No,
work.
I still get the number value for whatever.
Yeah, you still get the number value. It just means you don't. If it's not suited, you don't play another card. That's a standard. That's a standard way of play.
And trailing cards are.
It's your discard pile. Basically, whatever's on top of your discard pile, that's the one that the Joker can capture.
Okay. So this lets you play stuff straight out of your discard pile back into an action.
Yep.
Oh, you have so many quick cards. That is fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing how this deck plays. In any case, Twyla, I assume we're meeting Sam in the Queen. What was it? The Queen's Court.
In the Queenswoods.
The Queenswoods, yeah.
The Queenswoods.
Yeah. We should probably go pretty deep in, right? Because we don't want to really be followed, especially now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we probably make our way in.
All right. You get with some little out of the way places where a lot of people don't go, but where if some people see you, it's not going to look like awfully suspicious. Like all of you know how to kind of blend in and make it seem like you're someone people aren't paying attention to.
Sam, nasty streak of weather we've been having.
Yeah, what the hell did you guys do?
This, we didn't start this, but I think Twyla and I have a line on finishing it.
What do we need? What do we need me to do?
Well, if I recall correctly, you've got some significant experience dealing with matters of the Fae.
Probably significant compared to people around here, but
And as far as most people are concerned, the Fae, everyone believes they existed. There's some strange ruins that don't look human, and this was supposed to have been a place where the Fae lived. You've studied, but no one's actually like encountered Fae that you're aware of in the lifetime.
I've read the paragraph of a book that you haven't seen yet. But if you want to count that as extensive, then sure.
Michael, did we get the names of the two witches that were at Ravenholm?
I haven't actually said it. However, that should be that Easter.
They were in the game room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anna hid and Lorraine, I think.
What do I have to roll to hit one of them with my house?
If they say Anna Hid and Lorraine, you've heard the names. They're fairly famous magic users from kind of some distant countries, like where essentially the church here acknowledges that there's other beliefs. They consider it basically like the small gods that people bring in. But it frowns on a number of magical practices that in other countries are not as frowned upon. So in other places, it's a bit more open than it is here. And you have heard those names. You don't know a lot about them, but they are fairly well known and supposedly fairly powerful mages who deal with like Fey magic.
So they're apparently on the retainer of a group of ne'er-do-wells operating out of Old House Ravenholm. Or you remember the discredited Raven House?
Yeah, okay.
You know, they have sights on Her Royal Majesty, and they're dismantling the Jackdaws as a project on the side.
Is Her Majesty safe?
They've apparently planted something at the Temple of the Ancestors, and they're planning something during High Mass in 3 days. 3 days.
What the hell did you guys do?
We didn't do anything.
Well, we're in the middle of the Rose Garden. We can drop that.
Well, we've bloodied their noses a couple of times. What do you know about Fey coin?
I know they're very, very valuable.
They had a cache of this conspiracy had a cache of Fey coin that they were planning to use to bankroll, or given the presence of the witches, possibly fulfill their efforts.
You said a cache, as in more than one?
Yes.
Well, then why don't we just take Her Majesty elsewhere and just buy her a new kingdom?
Given enough time, we might be able to manage that. But I don't know if you've got the connections to work with her royal spy master or not.
Well, and I think she's very happy with, her current kingdom. I think she likes the layout.
I like this kingdom.
Ah.
The fires will go out eventually.
More to the point, Sam, when all of this is over, if you have any idea who would be able to fence Faycoin, you and I should talk. But I feel like that's an if we survive this kind of question, to be honest.
With what's going on right now, that those Faycoin might be better suited for favors than gold, unless you're looking to outfit an army.
Agreed.
And
The
Michael,
witches.
I'm right that we're kind of on the queen's side, right? This is an insurrection against her.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, one thing is that the queen is actually fairly well liked, partly because she's not. I mean, her mother was lowborn, but the king married against a lot of his advisors. There are a lot of kind of higher ups who are looking to get rid of her, and one of the problems is the queen is very comfortable with the power that she's got, and she actually wields it fairly loosely in most respects.
And the relationship with the guild was basically like, don't be too big of an asshole, and we're not going to hunt you down.
Yeah, they haven't kind of cracked down so much, but the thing is, the jackdaws with this other stuff that's coming, they're looking to replace the jackdaws. They've got a whole bunch, and they've got information that there's apparently a mole inside.
Right, but it's not the queen that's doing this; it's the insurrection against her, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
That still confuses me. I'm not entirely sure why the conspirators feel they need to dismantle the jackdaws as part of this usurpation. But
one thing to know is if you have someone who has like control of the Thieves Guild, there's a massive amount of money.
Yeah,
can come up the line.
Also, and I was going to suppose that they assumed that you enjoy the status quo and would probably put some effort into maintaining it.
see what we're doing right now. So if I don't know what state the jackdaws are going to be in when this is all over, but if we have any chance of recovering and enjoying that status quo, we're going to need to thwart and embarrass these people.
Well,
we've got names, but apparently there are more papers in the temple.
Well, the card playing aspect, that's really only when we're in like the heist portion, right?
Generally, I mean, are you looking at like one of your abilities?
I mean, I got scrying,
Yeah.
So I mean, we can head over to like one of the one of the bird baths and see what we can see.
Well, a lot of this is for an adjacent zone, which means like kind of into the next room. It's not like you're not seeing like across the whole.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, because it is for like that particular setting. Okay.
Yeah, and it's also one of the things is there will be magical wards and other stuff like the once you're inside the Church of the Ancestors, it's much easier. But because magic was used against the church, they've learned how to essentially do some anti-magic, at least on the outskirts of it. You've been inside, you probably like looked or listened in on some people's stuff, so you know that inside you're good.
Okay. All right, we'll lead the way.
All right. And I before we go, I produce with a flourish a fey coin and say collateral in case something happens.
All right. So if we're separated, I can use this for something.
You have a medium fortune if you can get rid of it.
I'm going to, I think, try to roll against culture and see how well I retire.
So in this case, if you want to go into the casing phase, so it's like what you're trying to find out, how you're trying, and like what skill you're using, and how you're trying to find stuff out.
All right. I guess I'll reach out to my my fellow quasi guild members. Probably more of a loose organization. Would Arcana count for that? Maybe to
Yeah.
just like, hey, I need to get in here. Let's pool our knowledge, and I want to write down every rumor that every one of you has heard about this place, so that I know some things to be ready for.
Okay, about the temple itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard to do. So the thing, like, how many you have two in there?
2. Yeah.
Okay, so it's got some of the standard areas that that you're kind of aware of. There are the standard ways of people uh, keeping magic and such out. However, a couple things you find out as you're going through, and recently there has been a fairly strong crackdown on um, not only books of Fae and there's been some raids. In particular, there've been some raids uh, that have come against arcane books of people who had information on the Fae in particular. And it doesn't take a lot of like just asking a question here or there. Like things on Fae coin, they seem most interested in. It looks like they may have been looking for rituals and stuff,
Okay.
which for the church would be highly unusual.
So it's not really more about we don't want you to have this. It's we need to have it in case it has something cool in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, I'm pretty sure that the witches still have access to at least 2 Fae coin. We overheard them talking about utilizing mirth.
And if they've got Fae coin and they've got ritual books, then they may be trying to cash in some favors with the Fae.
I imagine they probably need all of the Fae coin though to accomplish what they're doing.
Yes,
Maybe.
it could be. It probably depends on whether or not the Fae are real, if they still exist, and what kind of favor they're looking for. Would be my guess. When you say all, like how many total are we talking about here?
I know of 8.
In the city at the same time?
If you want to check out the magic rhyme that is in the journal.
I mean, I haven't laid sight on 8, but I think I've heard at least 8 described.
You say in the journal. Oh, in Roll20.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was this the note I found?
I believe so.
Magic rhyme.
Right, because
Okay, gotcha.
Paul ran the first session of this campaign in a different universe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, an alternate. Yeah, so I'm trying to recall like setting information and not without session specific information.
All the rest of it will pretty much be the same.
So 8, yeah, according to this, so they have like the rhyme on a piece of paper in the pouch or something.
Mm-hmm.
So if 8 is what they're looking for and they want to wish,
I imagine they could accomplish pretty much anything with a wish to the Fae.
if you get another one of these, we can hear a pretty badass joke right now.
What do you think they might be able to accomplish with mirth on Sunday Mass?
Converting the congregation over to their cause, or if mirth is just interpreted as enjoyment, then maybe it's just some minor wish, some minor thing that they want.
Well, it has been said that comedy is the voice of the satanic. So I don't know, maybe they're trying to undo some of the church's teachings, draw some support away from that establishment. I don't know.
Or if they're planning to assassinate Her Royal Majesty, creating some sort of laughter and chaos at Mass might give them a distraction.
Yeah, or just keeping people happy with the death of their queen. Maybe we can go stop them and then figure out what they're trying to do.
They'll probably give us one of those evil speeches where they just lay out the totality of their plan, and then
And they'll give it to an empty room because they won't see us because we'll be sneaking.
yes.
Have any of you ever
We call it
played
the Hamlet plan.
Have any of you ever played Before I Kill You, Mr. Bond?
No.
No.
Once, maybe?
It's a card game. I think it might have been a cheap-ass game. But it's
like
basically, you're all supervillains, and you have these cards where you kind of basically construct that monologue of like, before I kill you, Mr. Bond, my plan was to, carve a laser beam on the moon and flood the earth with my, and basically coming up with the best supervillain monologue.
Fantastic. So I'm going to hit the books, find a library somewhere. Actually, are there libraries that are open to commoners in the middle class here?
There are some that requires a little bit of coin. You probably have some extra to go in.
Okay. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try and track down some of the people. How old is this church? Centuries, right?
Yeah, it's at least 300 or 400 years old.
Yeah, it better be a library. Okay, so I'm going to use my dot in history to see if I can find out any pertinent details about the construction of the church, whether it might have any known secret passages or interesting tidbits of its construction. I might even try and raid the annals of what's left of the Jackdaws to find out, if they have any notes on the Church of the Ancestors.
Yeah. So the how many do you have in enginery?
Oh, enginery. I have 2.
Okay. So a couple things that is kind of nice is back here. One of the things that you know about churches in particular is they're built big. They're built to be hugely impressive, but also because that can end up costing a ton of money. They very often have practically the same layout, like floor to floor. So that very often you're looking at like some minor differences in the layouts between the floors. The one thing is that the crypt down here has been actually like, oh shoot, yeah, the crypt down here has been made larger over the years, and originally there were some rumblings that the Jenny of the area, which is just like basically the spirit of the place, because the ghosts and other stuff are things you have encountered or seen. Everyone knows they're around because they sometimes have to deal with them, and there are Jennies of places. These like generics, or it's kind of the actual full name, but they're usually just called Jennies. And the spirits of them can be hostile to some. They can be useful, but when they kind of broke further into the crypt, the Jenny was causing a lot of problems, and something was done to seal up the Jenny. But that's what people say. Nobody's entirely sure how long that's going to be trapped for. Because like every once in a while, you can seal something up, but it doesn't remain sealed forever.
That's mildly blasphemous, isn't it?
No, because like the ancestors of the worshiping that they have in the past, the things like they acknowledge their spirits, they acknowledge there are other gods, but they're all just like smaller things. The ancestors, the important ones, and they don't like to talk so much about like the Jennies exist. They know they exist. They've had to deal with them, and that's where the church will kind of like hold its nose and bring in like wizards and something from the outside to tame a Jenny if there's a problem. And it's not unusual for the church to have had problems with Jennies, like just historically.
Okay. I think that Twylla is maybe going to use some of her ticks and charm to maybe talk to some of the people that frequent the temple, maybe just in the area around, see what they know about the upcoming High Mass, if there's anything interesting or different that's supposed to be happening, just the rumblings from around the area.
Are there any particular people you're trying to like types of people you're trying to track down, like acolytes from there, the priests,
I think I'm specifically going for the acolytes, the people that are going to be doing some of the services, and maybe a couple of the priests. Yeah.
Yeah, you actually as you're going through, and you end up like you sort of talk with some people. You catch one. There's an acolyte who's coming out, and he's got like a large sack over his shoulder. And as you're talking with him, what you find out is essentially all of the acolytes are being sent home for like they're supposed to show up on the high mass, but the acolytes who traditionally live on the third floor and basically these really long, kind of like military barracks. It's just like stacks of beds and such. All of them have been sent home, and he's going. He says weird thing too. We're sent home at the same time. Like they're bringing in a whole bunch of stuff. Like I mean, they may just need the room because of the high mass.
Are they storing all the stuff in the third floor?
I saw people bringing up like crates and boxes and stuff. Look to be military. They're probably just getting rid of us for the queen to make sure that things are safe. You know how it is.
Yeah. So all of the acolytes are sent home. All of them,
Mhm.
no exceptions.
Yeah, he goes. Yeah, every single one of us. The priests are able to stay, but they tend to be on the second or fourth floor. Yeah, basically the entire third floor has been gutted.
Are the guards just standing around all the time? Is that usual?
Yeah, we always have guards, and the queen's coming. That always gets a little bit more, but I mean, generally people don't have to worry too much. It's an easy gig for most guards, but there've been a couple extras. Riviana seems kind of agitated lately.
Any idea about what?
I don't. I have no idea what she has to deal with the queen and everything else coming here with the high mass. This is the acolytes have been there for less than a year, so like
Okay.
I don't know if this is normal, but all I know is I'm staying away from Riviana if she doesn't want me near her.
Is there anybody that she normally wants near her? I mean,
I mean, she got the priest and the other stuff that her friends for. She's not a bad person. She's just strict, but that is good for us. It keeps us on the straight and narrow.
no, of course, got to honor those vows. All right. Thank you for talking with me.
Mhm.
I'll see you at Sunday Mass, hopefully.
I'll be there if you're hanging out after.
Yeah, sure thing. And then I guess I just make my way away.
You're like, it's so easy. They're young and stupid. That will take up like the stuff you're doing there takes up kind of all your Fridays.
Okay.
When you were saying like, well, she's not so bad. I just for some reason was hearing that in Tevye's voice. It's not so bad, is it? As the good book says. Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah. Very
Maybe I should
confused for a second. Don't like theater, Paul. So that does fall into a type of musical I'm not usually a fan of. The 50s and 60s musicals tend to be a little slight story wise.
There's a few that I like just because I grew up watching them with family. But I totally get you. Like the ones that don't have like an actual sentimental attachment, I can do without. But Fiddler on the Roof though, I like I don't know. That's a great soundtrack.
Fiddler on the Roof.
I mean that's like Gwen Stefani's breakout right there, right?
I will say if you've not heard it yet, Evil Dead the musical is not only hysterical. When I directed it, we had a splash zone where like the audience would come and there was tarps on the seats, and we had like one woman came in a wedding dress because like she wanted blood to get all over because she was gonna wear it for Halloween. Like it was
All right, that's resourceful.
Oh yeah, it was. I've outside of when I was in Rocky Horror, I've never had a crowd that was that jazzed.
I love Rocky Horror.
I was Eddie in Rocky Horror.
I have never seen Rocky Horror in any form.
Watching it on your own is not recommended.
That's the main.
It's a group experience.
I have all these people who are like, oh, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna have this, and then like no one ever does. But actually, I have like a friend who's like both of her sons in St. Louis are like in a troupe that do it like year round.
Yeah, go if you're gonna see it, go to the theater because like I tried watching it by myself. It wasn't that much, but when I had to like walk through the audience to get to the stage, I was
Oh, it's
stepping.
an experience.
I was stepping over people because they were
Yeah,
all
well,
through. I was afraid. I wasn't as I started the song and like whatever happened to step over a person, step over a person.
but when I met her son, he was wearing like leather pants and no shirt, and I knew I knew what the costume or part of the costume was, and I was like, "You got a show tonight or something?" And he was like, "No, it's just doing laundry."
just how I am. Yes, Evil Dead the musical. If you've not heard it or seen it, is hysterically fun. All right, are you wanting to head Temple ways?
Do we have time for another round of casing, or is our Saturday night coming up on us?
It's Saturday. It's kind of coming up on you.
All right. So did I get an impression that one can enter via the crypts, or just simply that the crypts were going to be larger than the floor plan would indicate?
Well, the thing is the crypts have actually been larger for a while, so it's one of those things that like the general layout is relatively simple, but it was small at one point. And there's lots of little things you would have found out. I'm just saying the one that would be a little important was the Jenny that was down there was a little hostile to the church itself.
A potential ally. Maybe.
They've caused us enough chaos. Having them enjoy a certain bit of chaos in return seems appropriate.
All right. So should we make our way to the church on our Saturday Eve?
I'm down.
All right, you should be popping into the church. The big thing about the layout on all of the floor, there's 3 floors going up. Well, there's the ground floor. Sorry, the ground floor, and then there's first, second, and third floor going up. The crypts are underneath. Almost all of it. You have a long central hallway through all 4 of the levels, minus the crypt.
Okay.
And then you have on the sides, you have rooms, storage. You've got sometimes bedrooms and other stuff. The problem with things like churches, the nice thing is they don't tend to have a ton of light because especially at night it's expensive to have torches or candles and stuff to light big areas, so there's really not a lot. And they're also big huge rooms, so like one person with a candle walking through isn't going to like get lost, run into things. The other problem though is in churches they tend to have marble floor on almost every, so sound becomes a big problem for a thief.
Are those guards stationed outside?
Yeah, they're sort of wandering the area, and here also I'll just kind of show you the sides of these real quick. There's only really the one entrance, though you can see like the windows across the back. There is sort of a second floor. So there's like a second floor balcony, or rather on the first floor, because there's ground floor, first floor, second, third. There's a balcony that overlooks it. That is in the back on the floor over it, but otherwise
I've got 2 ranks in traverse. What are the odds that I could parkour up to that window and drop a rope for people?
How steep are these flying buttresses on the side?
fairly steep. They go up 4 stories. Actually, probably pretty good because the thing is, these are old, like the old like larger bricks. They're not like, or like the things of stone are not particularly smoothed out, and they've been there for so long. There's enough like kind of cracks and other stuff that it won't be necessarily all that hard to get up there.
All right. Do we want to try and bluff our way in the front, or spider up the back?
Do I recognize any of the guards?
No, these are yeah. You look at these seem to be church guards. So like these aren't hawks, for whatever you can tell.
And
Okay.
how often do you get to climb flying buttresses? I mean,
True. These are great life experiences.
So you want to try to go through that first floor balcony?
Sure, yeah. I'll lead the way and like maybe drop a rope in case that'll help other people.
We'll catch you if you fall.
I won't fall.
So I'm going to delete your. I copied and pasted your things. You see them. It'll be if you go down a little bit and to your right.
Yeah.
Do you have control over those ones that I just copied down there?
Let's see.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah, over here.
Oh, on the first floor? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure you have because I will go ahead and delete these.
Okay.
Okay, so as you come up, and this is one of those things that you may not be able to. Let me go back to the lighting layer real quick. Okay, there is, and I can't really remove it without this. Up here, there's a priest that's sort of hanging up outside, and on the other side, you've got a guard.
We can take the priest.
And the priest, if someone wants to read, is Zose.
I'll be the first one and just stare with a blank expression.
I think that's all one person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought the second one was. I thought that was.
Oh no, it's a prayer that the priest is saying.
Oh. Karma Ruvia, grandmother of my grandmother, breaker of the Talvian Empire, may your hand guide us in what is to come. Grant me your swiftness of hand, keenness of eye. Let me not be betrayed as you were, but stand before the just in making new order.
As he is up there saying that,
Let's betray.
you have a 6 right now. So if you want on the playing cards, you can pull 6 in your hand.
Okay. I almost believe this deck was shuffled.
Oh, I can't recall.
No, it's got suits. So this is interesting.
Oh, did I do a very good shuffle?
It's an interesting start. Random streaks are in fact within the realm of probability.
Okay. Because you want to use your traverse to climb up there while he's out there, kind of eyes closed, doing this prayer to his ancestor.
Okay.
And I'll say there's a decent chance one of you, either if you don't, you at least know someone who at least claims that's their ancestor. Because I think it was before Paul got here, I mentioned that everyone claims to have at least one like great ancestor in their family line. All of which, because of the way the houses are, like kind of like Telbrook was trying to like move between houses. They don't necessarily follow family lines directly, so that gets a little muddied.
So, what are the odds that that all three of us are going to be able to get up there before the priest notices us?
To get all 3 of you up there is going to be a little harder. So that depends. Like, are you gonna if you're up there, if you're gonna try to like knock him out or something? That could be a possibility. So it'll be a little harder to get all 3 of you up there. It'll be a little easier to get one person.
What's the stealth level here?
Stealth level is 6. So you have 6 in your.
Oh, that's the same rating.
Yeah, it'll be different when you're inside, but right now you're on the outside. They don't have torches around, especially the back of it.
So and 6 is the most, right?
Yep.
Okay. And are jokers wild?
No, jokers are
evil.
Jokers are not good.
Yeah, jokers when they are played, they either jam up your hand, but when you play them, they come to me, and I can then use those jokers to capture cards, to activate. Like if I capture a card, that joker is removed from the session because I've
So
captured one of your trailing cards.
do I have to give it to you right away then?
Nope, it's just when you play it. Or I can also use it to be like, oh, I play the card, and like, what happened? Wasn't that? Did I play it to have someone walk into the room and almost caught you, Laura?
I mean, that did happen. I think I was careful not to play any jokers, though.
Yeah,
No, I dumped a whole ton of jokers.
yeah. I think I used one. It's at one point to make like someone came into a room, so it could basically to like move someone in a way that's disadvantageous, or like someone will hear something. I can use it to kind of cause complications or to capture one of your cards.
So my motivation for playing them is to free up the space for good cards.
Yeah, so yeah, it's basically going the jokers. They can jam your hand. You can stay safe that way, or because you could also slow play cards, but that can cause its own problem with you being seen.
Okay, so I'm going to traverse up to the first floor.
Mhm.
Is that a play, or can I just get up there?
It's only going to be a play to be not heard. Now, so right now he's not paying much attention. That much is clear because he's deep in thought. He's out here praying instead of like somewhere inside. So clearly, his mind is not necessarily on. He's not like looking around for stuff. So that's usually an alertness of 2, and I mean, depending on the person, the standard sort of kind of guile, like are they going to hear, is also usually a 2. You're probably looking at about a 4.
Okay. All right, so what's suited for this?
I will say spades, finesse, because you need to do this like carefully.
Okay. I'm also going to say that hearts is suited because whether I get spotted or not is very much on reading the fervor of this priest.
Mhm.
And also, I did kind of boast to the group that I wasn't going to get caught. So I'm going to play. I'm gonna hope here. I'm gonna play 5 points and close the action.
Okay. Yeah. So as you head up, kind of scramble up there, and he seems, as far as you can tell, to be none the wiser. And you're sitting there, and you are. Let me make you. Yeah, you're sitting there, and you're just seeing him still head down, still praying, still thankfully unaware that you are there.
All right.
Here it's a 5 because it's still dark out, but you also have the stone.
Okay. So I drop my stealth level to 5.
Mhm.
All right, and then I conk him over the head with my blackjack.
All right.
He's not wearing armor of any kind, right?
No, he's a priest.
Okay.
Yeah, so he has no armor. I will say clubs are definitely suited for this as force.
Okay, I will say spades is also suited because I need to be able to sneak up on him effectively.
Mhm.
On these freaking marble floors.
Yep.
All right. This is going to be something. If I miss, so the first thing I'm going to do, how does this work? Let's try this. I'm going to play 5, 10, and I am activating my Jack of Spades and immediately drawing the 6 cards.
Okay. Yeah, so basically what happens if you're doing an ambush of someone, what you do is you want to go after their health, which for like a regular, like when you get like guards and such, you're looking at like a 4. When you're looking at like commons, like servants and priests, 2 to 3. So
okay,
you've got at least that to that you want to sort of overcome. So then what you do is the action to succeed is you are trying to do it so that he doesn't hear.
Okay. My question here is, can I play the Jack of Spades as part of this action, use its ability to draw and keep playing into the action?
Yeah, as long as it's suited. So
Okay.
the other thing you're probably going to want to do, and when you draw those cards, so alertness is still 2. The body in this guy, the guile here is about the same. So probably about a 4 to successfully sort of strike him while he's not paying attention. Then what you're going to want to do, so you're like the blackjack you've got does I think 1 point of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're probably going to want to play at least 1 or 2 more cards face down.
Mm-hmm.
Because you face down, you can do like +1 to damage taken. This is an ambush, so he's not also attacking you, so you don't have to worry about defense. But as I said, like guards tend to have 4 or 5 health, whereas most people have 2 or 3. And this guy looks a little beefy, but not huge.
Okay. Now I have 1 point in combat, so I assume I do 1 point for the blackjack, 1 point for combat, and +1 for any face down card I send.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is what I do. Queen of Spades, just the Queen of Spades, 5 points. Hope that works.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to play 2 trailing cards.
Okay.
So 4 damage total if it works.
Yeah. So what you do is like you notice here, there's that guy in there. So like do you see this guy here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, you only have 1 suspicion because you only played 1 card because the face down ones don't count for that. So yeah, it's very quiet, and then he's out. You kind of catch him. Do you just sort of like lay him on the side or something, or
okay?
What do
you? I sort of walk him into a corner parallel to the door and lay him down.
Okay. Yeah, he is out. He is unconscious.
Okay. And one of the cards, as I discard it, the Jack of Spades activates, and I draw to 6.
Cool. Well, does it take you to 6, or does it take you to the current stealth level?
Stealth level +1.
Okay, yeah, then 6. Yeah, so
I have to discard down to stealth level next time I do something.
Yep. So, if the 2 of you climb up after him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be stealth level 5. So you want to put 1 of your cards back on top of your deck.
We let our big burly man take care of the action, and then we'll come up afterwards, being the helpless damsels that we are.
Okay, so I put a card on top of my deck, and then when I drew new cards from my deck, it wasn't that card.
So you didn't hit recall or shuffle?
I don't think I did.
So let me check. So if I just pull this, it's an ace. Same one as before. Yeah, same one.
Huh. Okay. Weird.
Is it possible to put it in somebody else's deck?
Could be.
I accidentally drew from someone's deck earlier.
Yeah, do you want to check and see if you drew? Do you remember what card it was?
Yeah, it was a Joker.
Oh yeah, did someone have a Joker sitting on top?
Nope. Both of mine are in my hand already.
Nope. I don't think I have any.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll say that glitch saved you a Joker.
Oof.
All right, so as you can see in there, you have in this area up on the first floor, so the number of beds throughout there. You can see sort of down the hallway, like there's not a lot of doors in this place. A lot of times it's just sort of open brickwork. And you can see a guard that is just kind of wandering in from the room up here. It's mostly dark in that area. You've got like a candle or 2 here or there, but you've also got that stone floor throughout it.
Would it help any if we took off our shoes and stashed them somewhere?
The shoes you have, I'm going to guess, are actually probably fairly like soft sole shoes.
Okay.
Because you as a thief, having hard soled shoes is
probably not smart. Yeah.
But it still just makes more noise against stone than it would against like carpet or.
Right.
Is this the only door out of here?
Yeah, this is just this balcony that just comes straight off of this priest's room.
I mean, I could try going in, and I'm pretty good at talking. So worst comes to worst, if I'm like getting in trouble, somebody could come in and just like clobber him.
Do you want to sneak in first?
Sure. Yeah.
We'll say as you're kind of going in, that guard, unless you really screw up, that guard is going to end up like walking into the next room, but not the one that you're going into.
Okay. Um, so that'll be I'll have to draw cards for that, right?
Mhm.
Okay. What are the seats? Or what are the yeah.
Oh yeah, you got the priest is sitting there just sort of reading a book, so he'll be distracted, which is usually about alertness of 3. And again, you know that their guile here tends to be a 2, maybe a 3, exceptionally.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um so um all right. So did you call like whether it was
Yeah,
3
I'm
diamonds or
sorry.
something?
Yeah, let's go with um metal, because yeah, like you're coming in through that window, so hearts will be suited.
Okay. Sounds good. What was the number I needed to beat again?
You're probably a 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's distracted, or he's about a 3. I'm sorry, you probably a 5 or 6. He's distracted,
Okay.
which gives him alertness of about 3, and then they usually have 2 or 3 in their guile.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and play my 5 of hearts. And then I'm going to also say uh, that diamonds are suited because I think that I'm going to need to be pretty quick thinking on my feet for
Mm-hmm.
this. So I'll play my 2 of diamonds
Yep,
as well.
it's a 2 suspicion. That 2 suspicion is not enough to sort of trip him on that. Yeah, as you sort of head through, there's just a moment where he just kind of looks as you sort of freeze in the darkness and kind of goes back to the book that he's reading.
Mm-hmm.
And you are going to move yourself into that room, or do I need to move you because the walls might?
Um, mm,
Yeah, some of the I'll move you. Some of those things are kind of small. I'll grab it.
yay. Okay. What does the room look like that I'm in? Is it just a bedroom?
Yeah, so this is essentially like from what you can tell, what you also have heard. It's not like the acolytes are in like kind of like big long rooms that are much more military. These ones, they kind of have their little space. Um, they've got trunks that has stuff that they sort of own in it. It's a little more private, but as you can see, not a whole lot.
Right. Are there anything super valuable that I can maybe snag as I'm traipsing my way through?
Yeah, you might be able to kind of take a look through some trunks or something and see if there's something that might be worth a while.
Uh, no books just kind of sitting out or anything.
Um, there's a few things that are sort of sitting out. If you want to go with, yeah, what do you have in? Um, we'll go art.
I do not have art.
Okay. Culture.
I've got 2 in culture.
Yeah. So there, as you're kind of looking through, there's sort of by looking at some of the books that they have, you can kind of get a quick glance of which of the priests who would normally be in here might actually like the books they've got are expensive enough that in their trunk there might be something a little more. Yeah, you would be able to do it with culture, and it would be times 25.
I think maybe I'll come back to this Actually, no. Why not? You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay. Uh,
War won't fund itself.
the truer words have never been spoken. Okay. So I play cards for this, correct?
Yep. And one thing to keep in mind: the more cards you play,
Mhm.
the more not only the more space does it take up in your pack, the more suspicion it kind of creates. So some of this might be like the chances are this guy's not going to go over and open up someone else's thing and look in it, but it could be a little bit like, does he hear you opening up the thing, opening up the chest? I'm
Okay.
listening. I'm right.
Or trying to sneak out of a window with an antique piano strapped to your back. It tends to look a little suspicious.
Just a little.
Still deciding what to throw down.
I need to know like whether it's tarts or.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh no, you actually. Oh yeah. I guess we'll say. Uh, we'll put diamonds as one of them because you need to be a little careful about how you do it.
Okay.
Actually, let me check. I don't think you actually have to have it suited for looting.
Oh, really? Oh,
I think looting you can use anything. It's just the more cards you use, the more.
okay.
Yeah, let me.
All right.
I will double check, but we'll say for our purpose we'll say whatever you put for right now is.
So I've got my jack of diamonds and my 4 of diamonds,
Mhm.
and then my jack has a special thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and actually, yeah, we do suited, but yeah, I'll say the. What did I say
Okay.
before? Diamonds.
I think you were gonna say diamonds,
Yeah.
yeah, but and my jack has a quick thing. So do I pull another card right now?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
So 9.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 225.
Okay.
You want to put that as you sort of open up. There's one who's got like some books of a little bit more expensive make that don't appear as if they were maybe made in this particular church. That's one thing with monks. The problem with priests sometimes is they get some of those really expensive books just
Mm-hmm.
for being priests, essentially. This doesn't look like that because you open up his thing, you actually can see inside of it there is uh, some jewelry from
Okay.
the home, and you sort of pick up there's like a chalice that itself has got like some uh, garnets and other stuff like encrusted on it.
Mm-hmm.
Unusual thing for a priest to have. Um, Probably something he had in case he needs to sell it for some money for whatever reason. Unless it's like a family heirloom or something. Regardless, it is now in your pack.
Cool.
Yeah, it doesn't like there's also a moment where the guy kind of looks up almost like he's hurt a little bit, but not enough to get him suspicious yet.
Okay. Awesome.
Suspicion reset for every room, or is that like as our hall goes on?
It's for actions, but then you actually do leave suspicion in rooms.
Okay.
So if when you steal things, like you walking through a place is not like that suspicion is gonna be for the action. But if you
Like,
steal,
it's not like a representation of like how full our packs are getting or something like that.
no, it because the amount of cards you put down when you steal something does leave some suspicion. Because like if you're taking a painting off a wall, like something could be like, oh, someone might come in and notice that, and that's actually a servant is probably more likely to notice that kind of thing than a guard very often. Um, Particularly because like if there are servants around, they tend to also be around during the day or whatever. where the guards are having to kind of patrol. But yeah, so like suspicion on an action, like when she popped in, used 2 cards, which is 2 suspicion, not enough to actually like trip him to go like, wait, what? I'm there. And when you stole it, there's 2 suspicion from there, but that's one that he's unlikely to notice without opening the chest. So I kind of just ruled right now that's just the suspicion of you stealing the things. So do you two also sneak into the room?
Yeah, I'll probably be more useful staying out on the balcony all night.
From hers, you're looking at like a 4. It was a 4 or 5. I think you played. Get in.
Yeah, I think it was a 6. Or wait, to get in.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a 4 or 5.
Sam, I meet your eyes, and I heft my blackjack experimentally.
I'll hold up my hand to like say like let's not unless we have to.
All right, I'll put it away.
And I'll go spades for finesse. Will be part of getting in there for both of you.
I will say hearts because I'm also reading this person.
Mm-hmm.
You said we needed about a 4, about a 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Okay. This is quick, so I draw to replace it.
Okay.
Also, what is this priest's heart rating?
His heart rating is a 3.
Okay. And then what's his bravery and what's his willingness to track suspicion?
Yeah. I do have a suspicion that the actual numbers here got reversed between the original playtest because I don't think they give the particulars on bravery and protocol. So for him, for as far as like the bravery or sort of checking it out, bravery is 1. He's not going to be the kind of person who's going to like get involved if he sees someone. He's probably going to cry out for help, like cry out and then go like try to find somebody. But he seems like someone who has about a 2 as far as like their vigilance, like how much they're likely to pay attention or notice if things are missing. So like he's very used to the way the church sounds at night. He's very used to how things are. So those will set him off a little faster than time with guard.
All right. And I will let a 5 stand.
All right, that is enough.
Okay.
All right. So because I've only got a 2 of clubs, that's the only club I have.
Oh, you get to call something else like the what I mentioned. I think I said spades were suited, and what else would you like to make suited?
I really don't think I have anything else I can justify here right now. It's the problem.
Or are you going through with like I said? Well, what do you have in your hands, for example?
I have a 2 of spades, jack of clubs, 2 jokers, ace of hearts. So what I was wondering is like if I use the jack of diamonds, which is my scrying, could I say that like lets me kind of see the whole room to figure out what is the optimal place to enter?
Yeah, the thing is, you can also play it for itself. If you did you want to use that to scry? Well, I guess you're playing it here through sneaking, so the scry part doesn't happen. But you can just
or just maybe as flavor text that like helps me with the sneaking of like where's he looking at any given moment or something.
Is that an 11 for you or is that a 1?
I think that one's just it's.
If that's your scrying, there's a pretty good chance that's actually going to be an 11 for you.
I keep looking at the other jack for some reason.
Your ace of diamonds worth 11.
Yeah, my ace of diamonds.
Or 11. You said your jack.
Yeah, that's the jack of diamonds.
Yeah, jack is worth 5.
Yeah. All right. Then yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, you both managed to sneak in without a problem.
And my jokers are suited because Are they actually worth anything? Like what when
Nope.
they're used?
The best thing to use them for is to actually put them face down to use for like extra tumbler lock, extra like lower suspicion, extra damage, things like that.
But it's a pair too, though. I mean, it's a pair.
All right, so yeah, in this room you got some that big window kind of looking out. The rest of it is not particularly like well adorned. You just got the stuff people brought with them. You got the open hallway into what looks like a fairly similar room north of it.
I think I'm gonna make my way up. Yeah,
Actually,
I'll make my way to that door. Oh yeah, sorry.
well, if we said that Guile is like is suited for me because I'm kind of using my magic to make my sneaking better,
Mhm.
then I could buy with a 4 of diamonds and save that jack for scrying.
Yeah, 4 of diamonds will work.
Legit.
We're 4 of diamond buddies.
Yeah, you said you moved to take a look.
Yeah, and could I now scry since I am in the room? Could I use my jack of diamonds to scry the next room? Yeah, no.
So, are you want to like scry into the room that is north of you, where they're in,
The
or
next-
do you want to go into like the bigger chamber out here?
Uh,
So there's it's to your west, which is
Where's the
going to be
door?
one of the large, like basically one of the large chambers, or what looks to be, as you sort of look through, a fairly identical room up north that's also used for sleeping. You can kind of see some beds from as you look down the hallway.
yeah, I think I want to like scry in this middle area because that's probably where important stuff's going to be.
You want to go ahead and play the card?
It's there.
Yep. So as you look through here, one thing you're going to notice is the stealth level in here is going to be 4. You got some like braziers sort of burning. You got the guard and one of the priests just sort of chatting. There's another one that's doing some cleaning on the opposite side. Yeah, this room itself is a lot of it has been cleaned. It looks like it's being prepared for seating. Like the actual the bigger events will take place downstairs, but not everyone's going to be able to be there. So some of them are going to be up here as well. Yeah, and the guard and the servant who are there, the priest rather, just sort of chatting. The guard seems like bored, been walking around, and the priest, I was like, "You know your way around." He's like, first time in this place. I got to know the 3rd floor pretty well, but there's not a whole lot up there." The priest just kind of laughs. Not a lot anywhere in here. The 4th floor is really where most of the stuff is. Because if someone tried to come in here and rob it, I don't think they find much on the first few floors.
So I'll signal that like 4 and then point up.
The stairs are there stairs up from there, or are all the stairs just down to the 1st floor?
Oh, there are going to be these stairs in this room just kind of go down to the floor of this chamber. There will be stairs. They're going to be most likely towards the middle, because like you have seen like around the middle as you've been in the place before. You've seen steps leading up to further floors, and you believe probably towards the very front are the steps down to the crypt.
And what I'm seeing in that room is the level below us, right? It's like a balcony around the.
No. This is the floor that you're on.
Okay, because like the diagrams on the floor look like they match up.
Yeah, it's similar in some respects, but there are some things that are different from what is downstairs. So yeah, what is here is actually like the layout is pretty much identical or very close to it on all 4 levels.
Okay.
But like if you were to look over, like the altar is very different on the other side. Yeah, like all of this you're seeing here, this is all on that the floor that you're on.
Okay, I see it now. If I scroll up. All right. And there's not a fireplace in this room?
You got some braziers here that are they've got like embers in there right now. They've got a little bit of light that they're throwing, not a ton.
Well, I think Twyla's probably going to make her way up to the 4th floor. So I think I'm going to try to look for some stairs.
Okay. And those should be towards the middle.
Okay. So yeah, I think I'll go into. There's only one door exit, right? Or 2 door exits really out of here, right? Yeah.
But it
So I
looks
think-
like we could go back out on the balcony and then go around the side if we're worried about this priest seeing us leave.
No, like this isn't like a thing you can walk around. This is the wall that goes up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So this is solid on the side.
Yeah, it's a big honking like
Gotcha.
cathedral.
Unfortunate. Okay. Yeah. So I think I'm going to make my way over to this doorway.
Okay. Now I will say it is in here in this little area. It is 5. So
Okay.
basically, if you want to come into here, and I'm assuming at some point, Will, you're probably going in there too.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Yeah, I'll move you. So like I said, the doors here tend to be small, so I sometimes have to move you through a door. Yeah. So basically, you can go in that little alcove. You can go up to a 5. It's 4 when you're actually in here, and when you move up. But to like move from like this zone over to the zone that's sort of a little bit north of it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to kind of sneak by them while there's not a ton of light. But the problem is making sure that on the marble and stone that you're not being heard.
Right.
What's going on with the people in the people in the other bedroom?
Yeah, in this one, you can see that the one that's closer to you is actually kind of getting ready for bed. The one that's further up is sort of like just like there's a chair that just sort of sitting in and looks just sort of beat and tired, and you can kind of tell looking at like his hands and such. It looks like he's probably doing a lot of cleaning during the day. So yeah, he's definitely scrubbed his hands kind of quite hard to get probably whatever was on them off. And you see a little bit of soot on him. He's probably made someone angry, so he was the one that had to go through and like some of the braziers and stuff downstairs in particular. He was probably the one that had to like clean that stuff out.
Well, should we just go for the good old-fashioned sneak? Because I don't know that disguises are going to do us much good right now.
I can try across the room. I'm headed for somewhere like here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so you're basically going to the opposite side?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so what you want to do is, and again, you want to go ahead and play. You have 5 in the alcove. If you end up staying in that middle spot, then you'll only be playing back up to 4, but if you go back in the alcove, it'll go back down to 4.
Okay. Let's say I make it.
Yep, not a problem at all. Just whoop. You want to pop kind of over into here? And it's sort of the same thing. As you look to the north and the south, both of them, you've got like there's actually not a lot of priests in right now, which like it's late enough that like a lot of them would probably be sleeping. Like there's a couple of them I put in there that are like sleeping, but you do see a few people kind of going around getting ready to go to bed at this point. But they seem fairly settled. This is the rather Spartan living quarters of priests of the descendants. And then who else is going where?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to enter the room. So across the hall is just going to be like more sleeping quarters, right?
Yeah, and like I said, for most of this place, you essentially have mirrored, like it's the same on one side as on the other.
Okay.
Or if not the same, it's very close.
Okay, yeah. So I think I'm gonna try to. Can you see where I'm clicking?
I'm not seeing a.
No. Okay.
Hold it down.
Uh,
Yep. Oh yeah. So going into that room.
general vicinity. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to go ahead and make your play.
Okay. Let's see. Whew. Okay. This is gonna be real tough. Okay.
Is that where you stop?
Huh?
Is that where you stop? 6?
No, I'm gonna place one face down.
Reduce suspicion.
Yeah.
Okay. So
wait, actually, I want to place one more card up. Sorry. There, and then.
okay. So that'll be a joker, which I'll be able to pull. Yes, but lowering the suspicion down to 2. And there's a moment as you sort of come in into that room, because there's the guard sort of walking, and you've got one of the priests sort of sitting there doing. There's a moment where just like your foot kind of, and they kind of look. That sort of face down card. Figures maybe people in that next room. Yeah, so you get through there, you are fine. As I said, the one thing all of it also would have known from the stuff you picked up before, the money items are probably going to be floor 4, which is where like the high priest and about like basically like the upper priesthood and such lives. Like that's going to be much more lavish. And on the first floor, there's going to be plenty of things that'll be worth money, because that's the stuff that the people see when they come in.
Right. It's going to be more obvious when that goes missing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like yeah, like the stuff here will be like money wise will be a little. There will be stuff. It's just not going to be as much as say 4th floor or some of the stuff on the first. And we wouldn't be quite sure about the crypt. Probably the crypt may actually have a decent amount.
Right. Okay.
If you want to steal from the dead. And Paul, where are you going?
I'm okay with that.
Is this a window or a door?
Oh, that is neither. There's like the arrow slit kind of stuff here. That is like a chest.
Well, I mean, but the fact that we're seeing a sliver here kind of makes it seem like
that was a mistake in the imperfect nature of
the line.
So yeah, as you notice, there are stairs there, and as in most things in a church like this, they are probably mirrored on the other side.
Where are the stairs?
Oh, can you? It looks like are you? Oh, you can kind of see the steps there. So, okay, this is the middle. There's steps. There'll be stairs on either side.
Like if I could see in this room, I would see that there's stairs.
Yeah, and you would just kind of know from having been in here before. About halfway down on both sides, there's steps up that you've seen, but you've probably never been upstairs.
Yeah, then I'm gonna sneak up through the middle of the tables as well.
All right, so you also want to make your play to sneak in.
That'd be 5.
2 suspicion.
And do I immediately draw back up to?
Yeah, I will grab your joker. Yeah. So in this area though, what you're going to pull up to is 4. Okay. The stealth level is 4 here, and we got Will right now sitting at a 6.
Oh, I'm at 6.
Or rather, yeah, I think I said 6 in the little alcoves. This is darken those. All right, so yeah, so you got the guard kind of walking through here, and then you have the priest doing his work. What does everyone do?
When you said that there was going to be all sorts of loot on the first floor, did you mean the ground floor?
Yeah, ground floor. Sorry. Yeah, this does ground, first, second, third, and I'm thinking first, second, third, fourth, and then crypt. So, yeah, so yeah, so I bet the ground floor when they first come in, because you'll have all the stuff in the altar, stuff like that.
I guess I've put myself in a trailing position. So once I'm assuming people are going to head to the stairs, I'll be the last across.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm heading towards the stairs right now, so I think I'm just going to continue my way there.
All right. Okay, so are you're going to be going into this side or this side?
Right for me.
Okay.
Probably the empty side.
All right. I would have both of you make your play, and I guess Will, are you going into the room that the zone they just vacated?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so if everybody wants to go ahead and make your play.
Yeah, I really can't.
I don't want to play this yet.
You ever played the
This is
game
very
Thief?
fun.
That's what it's like, where you're just going.
That feel when the deck is so generous as to hand you your jokers up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them.
Oof. Oh, you're using a special with that, or?
Oh, let's see. What is the special for that? That is.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah.
I'll
I will
do
say
that.
you will know like with the guards and other stuff, a 4 or a 5 is usually enough to get you through.
Really?
I mean, if they're passive, actually, sorry, if they're distracted, the ones who are working will have like alertness of 3. The passive guard in here will have an alertness of 4. So actually, yeah, his will probably be closer to a 6 or a 7. So yeah, I'm sorry, we're doing with the guards.
Yeah, so
I need that.
I think 8 was quite on the money then.
Yep. All right. Cheers.
All right.
What's suited for this?
I'm gonna go with let's go hearts metal. There's a point where you have to like make your way through, even though it's gonna make a tiny bit of noise.
Okay. Wowzers. What is this hand? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say that, oh, that's probably not sufficient though. Jeez. I am displeased. Say hearts is suited.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just to keep things moving. Ace of Hearts, 11 points.
Yeah, you're fine. As a matter of fact, with that one, if you want to move another zone, I would say like that's high enough that you could just wash.
Thank you. Done.
Teleportation.
Yeah, pretty much. You could have 11.
And what might have given you that boost is like this is all I've got. So
That's also an 11 for you.
no, it's not.
Is that a 1?
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe I actually went in this direction just as this guy kind of came up the stairs. So I just like charged past him. So would the 4 at least let me get past him even though I've been seen?
Okay, so as you come in, yeah, so this will be fun. As you sort of come in, there's a moment. You kind of turn that corner, and he sees you. Because basically you did not beat his alertness because he was working or daydreaming. So alertness of 3 plus his 2. And you have a 4. So he's kind of eyes wide as he's shocked to see you. in there, if you actually want to pull up stealth level 5, because he's coming out of the dark. He's pulled some stuff out of storage. It's in the dark there. So you want to pull up 5. What do you do?
Oh. Okay. Because I know I told them 4th floor, so if I just like kind of burst past him to the oh, so if I was at 5 that whole time, then maybe instead of doing that,
You were at 4 before. You're at 5 now when you go into this.
Yeah. but so then I could have just maybe just turned to the side real quick and just kind of casually walked a little bit further up, just so that like he caught a glimpse of someone just walking.
No, I was saying like, with what you played, because what was your total you had played? Was it a 4?
Well, if I had that 5 of diamonds before, I wouldn't have played the 3.
No, you only had a 4. You only had a 4. This stealth level here was 4.
Okay, so I thought you said
you're at 5 when you walk into this place.
So I'm at 5 after I fuck it up.
Yeah. So yeah, he saw you. He just and he's seen you. He's surprised. You're someone he doesn't know. What do you do?
I just rush past him and go up to the 3rd floor, hoping that they're smart enough to go up to the 4th, and I'll try to keep everyone busy on the 3rd floor.
You will notice that seeing if they see an intruder in here with the queen coming in tomorrow, he's gonna spread an alarm, which will make things harder for everybody.
But I've already been seen, right?
Yeah.
Clobber him.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. This is where it's not a video game, because you don't get to like wait just like hide in a corner for 5 minutes, and then they're all like, "Well, must have been nothing."
But if I had 4 going into or now that I'm in this room, I have access to these extra.
Yeah,
cards.
now you have 5.
All right. So let's go with some guile here, and say the rector asked me to find him a copy of the prayers of Solemn Ta from the library, and I'm new to this temple. I'm not sure which library he was referring to.
I will say you'll know that these are small. It's possibility. It's going to be hard because that's going to take him up to like a at least a 5 alertness, which he's at now. So now he's been surprised. I said it might be possible, but it's going to be difficult for him to not know you. So here you're probably looking at his hearts are probably a 3 or a 4. You're probably looking at a total of about a 9.
All right. So do you happen to know what library he? Oh fuck it. Never mind. Bam.
I would discard the cards you already played.
What's that?
Discard the cards you already played.
Oh, then I get to go up to 5 again, or do I have to wait till after
No,
the whole action?
so earlier you just played the ace and the 3, right?
Yeah.
The 5 was what you wanted to play on the next action.
Okay, gotcha. So this is what's out.
And
okay.
Occasionally, what I would say is you want to be careful what you put on top, though. I think you have one where you can pull off the trailing, because I could use a joker to capture it, which works in like the inspector rules, which are not in here.
Oh,
but it kind of like shows like clues left behind. So occasionally, I'm not going to take it. I'm just saying.
But I can order these, or is it the order I played them in?
Nope, you can put them in any order back on top of your card. The one on top matters because that's your trailing card.
And now I draw back up to 5 after the whole action, not after each play.
After the action, you pull up the 5 was one that you wanted to play. Yeah. On the next one, did you put another 5 down?
Yeah, that was my trying to like, hey, I'm trying to find this library. Screw it, and then I just try to knock him out.
Okay. Okay, so you just yeah, say clubs would definitely be that. Boom. Now, so what you're going to do here is you're going to want to play some face down. Do you have anything in combat?
No. Well, I have a jack. I have the jack thing, but I don't have that card.
Well, I mean, skill wise, do you have anything for combat?
I don't see anything combat related.
Yeah,
Combat. Yeah, I have one.
Oh, one. Okay, so that'll be 1 point of damage, and with most regular people, you're looking at 2 to 3 health. So you want to put at least one or maybe 2 cards face down for extra. Well, actually, you either 0 or 1. So if he has 2 health, you're sort of blackjack, and the one in combat will do it. If he has 3 health, you want to have 1 face down. You don't have to have 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you say as you come around?
Like the rector asked me to find him the prayers of solemn tie, and
Wait,
I just
who are?
oh fuck him.
Just bam. That works as just 2 suspicion, which is not enough to get him. You knock him out, and where do you want to put him?
Out of sight.
Like in one of the storage rooms.
Yeah, I'll put him in there.
Yeah. So storage rooms, like this stuff is mostly food.
Yeah, I'll put a bag of rice under his head as a pillow.
Aw. You're at least nice.
Drape his cloak over him as a little blanket.
Tuck him in.
All right, and as Lydia and Dominik go on the right-hand side.
Now, do you get this even though it was face down?
Oh, is it Joker?
It was, yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah, so an eavesdrop pops up. These are 2 priests who are in the room just north of you. You can kind of hear them talking as you kind of head in there.
I'll be able.
All right, I can be great.
They're bringing him here?
For the mass.
That's madness.
Not if it succeeds.
If it fails, every single one of us will be executed.
You've seen the soldiers.
The nobility backs Reese?
They've wanted her out for a long time. Seems they've got the means to do it.
I heard.
It's true.
Pagan lies.
Small gods are not without power.
Then why do they seem so much more agitated the last few days?
Because they're going to overthrow a kingdom.
Not nerves. Pissed off. Raviana's got them in her chamber now. She was yelling when they went in.
Fuck.
So Reese.
Potty mouth, right?
Yeah, Reese is the younger brother of the queen, his mother was royalty, and a lot of the nobility thought he was like basically once he was born, everyone thought he was going to be king. So Eleanor was kind of forgotten in certain respects. Like she was able to actually sometimes live among the people. She would go to plays. Like she was much more seen because nobody thought she was going to end up actually being queen. However, her father loved her a lot more than her brother. So when he abdicated, when he was getting close to death, he brought it to her. So Reese means they're bringing her younger brother in to take over.
Interesting. What room are we in right now?
So the room that you're in right now, there's a couple storage rooms just right off to the side, and then you've got stairs that are leading up and stairs that are leading down.
I want to go up.
And are you both going up? And are you also going up, Paul?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just kind of curious if you two happen to like look over and just see him punch the dude, or you're just like dragging a body into.
Yeah, I basically freeze like a cat that has just heard a noise in the room behind it and is like back arched, ready to spring in whatever random direction is necessary, and then I just slowly relax.
And then you look forlornly down at your blackjack and go, "Fucking hypocrite! I wouldn't let you punch someone earlier."
But mommy, I want to punch him now. Oh,
Man,
Paul.
If orange dwarves start what did I do? Oh.
So Paul, as you pop up to the third floor, you poor bastard. The thing is, luckily, is you're actually able to hear them on the way up. We have got 3 here.
Oh, no.
Yes, so Paul, boom. You start hearing people talking on your way up. We have Kasana, we have Nepalis, and we have Tian.
God, don't hug the bottle.
The way you drink, I have to.
You drink like a child,
I drink to get drunk.
like an amateur.
What in the hells are you doing?
Drink, Lieutenant?
You better hope you sober up before the Hawks arrive.
Half of them will be drunk when they get here.
They won't be. They have precious cargo with them.
Then you hear their footsteps, and there's a moment where something's coming closer to you, but someone goes into the room to the south, and 2 of them go out.
How drunk did they sound?
2 of them sounded like they'd been drinking for a little bit. They sounded a little bit drunk. The third one, Tian, not at all.
All right, I'm gonna pop back down to that storeroom and grab a couple more bottles of wine.
Okay. All right, across the hall. I would say as you 2 go, you're gonna see. Also, you kind of pop out to here.
What's my level in here?
Oh yeah, where all of you are at now, you actually have a 5.
Okay.
I kind of gesture up.
I nod. Are there stairs going up still in this area?
Yeah, there are stairs kind of over here. I would say as you look into this room, you actually see that like you can see the beds and such. Like there's a ton of them that are all over the place. However, there are lots of crates, like long crates that are long enough to maybe hold swords, that have been stacked in a bunch of places throughout here. So essentially, a lot of this empty space is taken up by that. Not all of it, but it's kind of off to the side in places where someone who's walking through the middle of it isn't going to necessarily look in and see a whole bunch of.
Yeah, I want loot. I'll visit this later. I'm going up.
Same.
And Paul, where are you going?
So but there's 2 of them still in this room, right?
No, they actually had left. Like I say, if you put it here, I'll put you here.
Oh, all 3 of them. Okay.
Yeah, you kind of heard like these 2 started walking out that way. One of them kind of headed, and again, you also look back and you see a whole bunch of like crates and such in there, as well as like all those just empty beds.
But these are the 2 drunk ones.
No, this is one of the drunk ones. The one with the helmet is actually the lieutenant. So
okay.
Yeah, it's one of the drunk ones and one of the other ones. The other drunk one headed south.
All right. Then I will try to sneak in through here.
Okay. You want to go ahead and make your play?
No, I don't really want to. Man. So do all of the cards I play have to be suited, or just like the lead off?
No. So basically, if it's suited, it means you can play another card. If it's not suited, once you play it, the only thing you can play is face down cards.
Oh, so really, all I care about is numbers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and do I need a 3 or a 4?
Yeah, I'm gonna say here you have spades. Finesse will be suited, and then you can choose the set. You can choose the other one. And you know he is fairly drunk, which means you're looking at about a impaired. So his alertness is probably 2, and then beyond that he'll usually have a 2, maybe a 3, probably a 2, knowing these people as far as our other goes.
All right, so that should let me sneak past him.
Wait, so what's your total there?
3.
Oh, does say he has a 2 alertness because he's drunk, and the other stat, like basically you have to beat like his alertness. Plus, often is guile when you're trying to sneak, which is usually a 2 or maybe a 3. So you're usually looking at like a 4 to 5 to sneak past like a drunk guard.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 will be fine. In that room, and he's walking south. What are you doing anything up there or?
No, I'm just making my way into the next room. Towards that way.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have you go ahead and make your play on that one, which will be he's a little further away, so it's going to be even probably a little bit easier. While we head over to floor 4.
What's my draw going to be in here?
Oh, it's going to be a 4.
Okay.
So okay, the stealth level is going to be 4. In most places here, the stealth level is going to be a 4, just because it is not an easy place to sneak around. Just
and I have I have a king of diamonds right now, so since it's in my hand, I get +1 stealth level.
Oh yeah, then 5 for you. Oh yeah, that's one. If you just keep it in your hands, you're kind of creating a zone of darkness. I remember that was was cool as shit.
And it says if it's in my deck.
Oh, in your deck as well?
My deck or my hand.
Oh yeah, so you always make, as long as it's in your deck or your hand, yeah, you have. Yeah. So if it's in your discard, ideally you should like hold it in your hand as long as possible.
Yeah, but I should have also had another card for like the first few rooms too. All right, now I know.
So the two of you on the 4th floor, you hear from north of you like a bunch of people talking.
Okay.
Oh, whoops.
So I'm going to peek down the corridor. Where are the doorways?
So, as you sort of peek down the corridor, you have a guard sort of in the middle. There is. Let me just do this.
Oh, that is a lot of people.
Yeah. So the thing is, you kind of hear, and what you hear, like you hear snippets of things that sound like military. Stuff like they're sitting there, they're talking about the various things they've got. So you've got like a doorway heading north, here, and here. And then the thing to the south over here. And you have a guard who's sort of like just like wandering the carpet area over here.
Do we have an eavesdrop prompt for that room?
Not for
or
this
is it
one.
just
okay? At this point, you just hear. So as you sort of listen, they're talking about horses. They're talking about the amount of like soldiers they have. It sounds like a military planning session. Oh, you also know from the engineering stuff. Basically, towards the south end of this is going to be probably where her room is. Now, there's the big altars kind of on every floor, and there'll be a personal one on this one. But otherwise, you are going to have her room, like the room of the head of it, will usually be on the south. The upper part of it will be things that are more commonly used by a number of priests and some of the specific religious stuff that's priests and others up here.
Is the only doorway to is the only passageway to the south side of the church straight in front of that guard?
Yep.
Cheers.
Is he moving?
Yeah,
Are they moving?
He's sort of walking. Remember, like this is sort of an abstracted. He's in this zone. Basically, he's in this hallway. It's not like if he's here, it's like it's impossible for you to go by because he's moving. It's not static. It's just that's where we're putting his thing.
Okay, so I guess I'll try and head south from here.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I kind of want to go into the head lady's bedroom.
Yeah, he'll be like passive, like idle or relaxed, which means he has a 4 alertness. And again, you're looking at a 2 to 3 guile usually. And up here, like immediately you can see like better art. Like so some of the art here has probably been up here for hundreds of years. Stuff that would probably have cost a fortune way back when is just thrown on a wall up here, like not even in a place of honor, because over the centuries, the amount of stuff that the church has gotten is significant. So they just put lots of like great art. There'll be things of culture, like Here's where all the expensive shit.
Well, we could probably, if we've got a breather. I mean, it's hard to say because there's guards all over the place. Like stopping to loot this corridor seems fraught. On the other hand, it's kind of irresistible.
You also know if this is just the corridor you enter in.
Yeah, there's probably some pretty good stuff later on too.
Okay, so I'm going to try and sneak to the south passageway. What's suited?
I will say part of this, because it does take some gall. Do this. We'll say hearts, that metal.
And I'm going to say that clubs is suited because this is frankly going to take speed more than it's going to take. It's going to take speed more than it's going to take precision.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot, though. You know what? I'm going to slow play this, and I'm going to slow play it by dashing from, because I just talked about speed. I'm going to slow play it by dashing from doorway to doorway.
Okay.
So my first dash is going to put me through the second doorway, the one to the sun altar room.
Okay. And yeah, so if you want to do your slow play, then what are you doing, Twylla?
What's the number we're trying to hit for him?
So his thing is he's idle. Like he's passive, so he's got about alertness of 4.
Right.
So his thing is he's not like looking for someone like active. He's not like staying alert. He doesn't think he thinks he's up here because he has to be.
Okay. So
there's a 4 alertness, and usually their guile is a 2 or 3.
Okay. So yeah. So it's hearts and clubs, we said.
Mm-hmm. Well, I chose hearts. You can choose the other one for you.
I think I'm sticking with clubs, I think. Okay, so do. And then play 1 face down. All right. So I played 6, and then 1 face down.
Okay, so to reduce the. Yep,
suspicion.
That's fine. And you're heading into the southern room?
Yeah.
Yep, you can go ahead and move yourself there.
Cheers.
Yeah, you managed to kind of get there. Unfortunately, Dominik, so you're stealth level 4?
Okay.
What's my stealth level?
4.
Okay.
The guard rolled a 1, so he has not seen you yet. Yeah, as he is sort of walking, I will say it'll be a little easier for you at this point, Twylla, because you are like as the guard's up there, you've gone into that next room, and you see a very very long hallway, and there are like these very small halls off to the side of it that go down, and you can see what looks like a large, probably a private altar. Or like a private like worship room, completely south, and either to the left or the right you have some sort of smaller hallways that lead to other rooms.
Okay. Can I like peek and like go down one of the hallways and maybe peek into the other room just to see what's there?
Yeah, we'll just sort of as you sort of look. I'll let you do a real quick. You'll see that. And you'll see that. I think that should have shown you like part of. You just want to like pop between. Yeah, I said long hallways that then go. They have like 2 rooms off either side, then go to the left or the right.
Okay. I'll make my way down to the little altar area real quick. Okay. See if there's anything I can loot there.
I'll go ahead and play yours. While you're playing yours, we'll have. Dominik, if you want to play yours, and then to kind of try to continue, and then Paul, where are you going?
I'm gonna try to head towards their stairway. So I guess I'll pop into here.
Okay. And we'll actually say on this one, because you already know there's no they kind of already come through here. There's nobody in this area, or no, so you're in the third one. I would say go ahead and make your play, and we'll move you straight to the stairway.
What am I actually playing for here?
You don't know if there actually could be, because I was thinking that was the first floor. Because you're on the second. You're on the second floor. There could be people that hear you.
All right, so just to basically don't trip over anything.
Yeah, and again, so your thing is about a 2 or a 3. Chances are, and there's probably nobody active, which would give them a 5 alertness. 4 means someone's like a guard who's just sort of bored at his duty. Distracted is a 3, working or daydreaming. And you got a couple drunk guards. We don't know. You also were told earlier there's not a lot of people on the 3rd floor, or on the floor you're on, 2nd floor.
Right. I'll just be stealthy.
Okay.
I broke my suit, so 7. My final score is 7. 3 cards.
That is that. Yeah, I'll say so. Do you do anything to reduce suspicion?
I can't. I broke my suit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So as you go, and you're heading south.
Yes.
Okay, and I would say, Laura would. I'm sorry, Laura, right?
Laura.
Okay. Not as bad as Ashley. Ashley is my least favorite name, or Alicia. It's Alicia. It's Alyssa. It's Alicia. It's whatever. I panic. I have a friend I've directed in shows that I panic every time I say her name. So, I just started calling her Lish.
We know nothing about that, Mihal.
The first Fear the Con I was at, I was like, they drew things for GMs to get prizes. Like, Mihal.
Well,
Matthews. Wait a minute. Is that Michael Matthews? Like, yeah. I'm like, Mihal.
Well, and it also happened in an episode where like they were talking about like you had responded to some forum post, and they're like, and then there's that one guy, like Mihal, my cat. Like, we don't know how to say his fucking name, but he had this really cool thing to say.
No, they every time they talk about me, it's Mihal or Meow Meow. They'll occasionally say my actual name. But remember, Fear the Con, you don't realize my badge actually says Michael, then the pronunciation is on there, then it says Mihal or Meow Meow. Mihal is how you say my spelling in Polish, which won me points with a friend of mine who is Polish, because her brother, I knew how to pronounce his name. Yeah, so you get a little bit of suspicion. The guard just kind of, as you are heading in there. And what did you, Alara, what did you have?
I have 5.
That is more than enough. You go down to the altar.
Cheers.
Yep, you want to kind of bring yourself all the way down there?
Yeah, I got it.
And Paul, what was yours?
4.
Yep, that is enough.
Whee.
Yeah, and Paul, you can kind of see the guard that's over here. There's like a, and sort of turns. He's heard something, but he doesn't know what it is yet. And you see Twylla like, fuck it, all the way down. And so at this point,
basically, I see her jetting around the corner as I come around this corner.
well, actually, you see Dominik head around the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, so at this point, you have a guard who's a little suspicious. Dominik and Paul, what do you do?
I right-hand rule out of this corridor. First door on the right, go.
All right, make your. I would say make your play.
Okay, what's suited?
I'll say part of this you got to go fast, so we're gonna go hearts. That is a long, empty corridor.
And I'm gonna say that spades is suited because this floor is marble.
And remember to discard your cards if they're out there from previous ones. I might be able to grab one.
And that just means we don't have it available when we reshuffle.
Yeah, basically, what it becomes, and this is one of the things that aren't available yet, is the inspector rules, because basically it becomes points that leads towards an inspector, like trying to hunt down like clues are left behind, things they can find. So if it's a high value card, it seems like that would be then worth more. Not only does it take it out of your hand, it then is worth more for an inspector tracking you down.
Uh-oh. What is the stealth level?
What is
what?
The stealth level in here?
Yeah, stealth level down there is a it's a 5 when you get all the way down there.
Cheers.
It's 4. It's 4 in that hallway. What are your totals?
10 points minus 1 suspicion.
Yeah, you managed to rush in while the guards are like, what was that? And
Have a joker.
Paul, what are you doing?
So I can play a face down card to reduce his suspicion level.
Yep. Well, reduce your suspicion level when you play.
Okay.
So basically,
Calm
I
down.
can,
Okay.
I can
There's
say
nothing
like
there.
I create like a little gust of wind down the corridor to maybe just make him go like, oh, maybe it was the wind, and then because it's just ballsy to try to sneak past him, I am then going to try it with a 4 and a reduced suspicion level.
Okay, the thing is, reduced suspicion level only takes. Oh, but basically, so the way this works, you might want to. But his thing is, he's now active. His alertness has gone up to 5.
I have to beat the 4, not match it then.
So the thing is, his alertness is 5, but then he has either a 2 or 3 kind of guile on that. So you're looking at least a 7 or 8.
So what does the playing the face down card do then? What does that?
No, the face down card can basically. So let's say So if you play enough cards down, you get his suspicion. Like for example, I think Dominik had 3 cards down. Yeah, so 3, which means his suspicion threshold is 2. If you go above,
so it lets me ignore a face-up card.
Yeah, it basically does because like if you play 3 cards, there's 3 suspicion. If you play a face down card, it's the same as playing only 2. So 3 for him is a wait. What?
All right. Well, all right. So yeah, you're right. I would want to rethink that. Would you let me?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Would you let me, since I'm magic?
Oh yeah.
Can I just phase through this wall and wind up in this room? or is that kind of like too magic-y?
I'll say you can use this stuff to get yourself into here, but not through the wall.
Okay. All right. So while maybe he's distracted with the wind that like maybe knocked over a tapestry over here, then I can.
Yeah. So like your 11 lets you get into the next zone.
Bring the hell there.
Yeah. So Twylla, you see like as you kind of come in, this is where like the stuff downstairs they have like smaller pieces that are like really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That like the common folk can come and see. Oh hey, there's this really nice chalice. Here's this nice little shrine to the ancestors, maybe gold gilt. This, if you're looking around, you are seeing what looks like a ton of gold and jewels. This is the ostentatious altar that they have specifically for like their high priests and other stuff to come. So they do a good talk of like, give your money to the poor. Like we're not terribly rich. Oh, by the way, don't go to the 4th floor. We're
all right. I think I say a little prayer to whatever ancestors like bestowed this gift on me, and I'm gonna start looting this room.
All right. Let me just double check here real quick. As far as yours, culture, church's culture. Yeah. So yeah, you if you want to go through here, definitely diamonds will be suited for guile for how much you know about what's worth money, and you're gonna have it times 60 in this area.
Okay. So I'm going to say that hearts is also a part of this because I'm messing with the ancestors' shrine.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. We're gonna play. Oh no! Come back. Huh? And that and that and that.
What's your total?
Let's see. My ace of hearts, I think, is double checked, so that gets me an 11. And then, so 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
So 6 more fake coin.
Okay. Yeah. As you go, there are essentially like the same sort of like the bowl and the chalice and the knife and the other stuff that they have downstairs. Those things downstairs are nice. These things up here priceless. Like they've literally been with the church for hundreds of years. These are the things that just the highest of the high have. Feel like this is what they bring out for the queen. So it's gonna take up 4 slots in your bag, but this is 1,200 gold.
You found a limited edition Beanie Baby.
Oh, cheers!
Yeah, 1,200 gold. And the thing is, the room is not completely looted.
We'll see if any of us get down there before Twyla finishes cleaning it out.
The thing is as you're going through, you're also seeing plenty of art, culture, other things sort of throughout this area. And I'll say, like, it's one of those things that, Paul, you even see some things arcane, the things that have been caught and captured, like
Because I'm down, you said I made it to that next zone?
Yeah, you're down into this hallway. No, you're not all the way down there. The hallway is the next zone you got into.
I didn't know if you said I skipped one.
No. Yeah, so you're up here. Oh, we did it earlier because it's just, yeah. So you're here for now. Or if you're headed down south, you could. What is everyone doing now?
Who's in this room to the right?
You kind of look here. There actually are doors, but you can kind of look through like the keyhole. As you kind of look in, there's sort of a higher priest who is sort of like sitting at his desk. And then he's writing out some stuff, and then you see him just like he just looks incredibly nervous as you peek.
Okay. Interesting. And he's got a desk. Does it look like there's like papers on the desk and stuff?
Yeah, he's got some papers and such in front of him. Like he's doing some sort of writing. He sits down and just.
I'll make a note of that.
Takes a glass of wine.
What's my hand look like? What's stealth level where I am?
Oh, stealth level where you're at right now is a 5. There's like no light here. You can see a little bit of light coming like from the bottom down here. Like there's something down there. There's a torch maybe all the way down there, but it's fairly dark in this hallway.
Okay. I would like to open this door carefully, creep into the room, and knock him out.
All right. So I would first go ahead and make your stealth to move into the room.
Okay.
And Paul, where are you going?
I think since I see Twyla about ready to squee down there, I'm not going to go set her off, so I'll duck into this side area.
All right. Yes, I'll say here if you want to go ahead and make your play because you're not likely to get caught because you've got the guard and the other one. So while he's alert, like he at least had a little bit of like what's going on. It'll be a larger alertness level, but you're kind of far enough away that he's not likely to hear you. So if you two both want to make your play, and then Twyla, what are you doing?
What's
what's suited? Oh, for going in there, that's some gutsy stuff. I'm gonna go hearts for that, like to open the door and go in and hope he doesn't hear you, or at least notice.
Okay, call it spades too.
Okay, and then I will say it'll be finesse, so it'll be spades for Paul. Then Twyla, what are you doing?
Can I continue to loot, but loot with history this time?
Yeah, I will say with history you have a times 40.
Okay. What is suited?
I will say in this one you want to have Diamond's Guile, so that's how much you know.
Okay. So I'm going to say that spades are also suited, just because I'm going to want to try to be, a little sneaky because I know that there are some guards in the area. So you said diamonds?
Yep.
Okay. So, wow. Okay, there. Okay, so that's 5, 10, 15.
Okay. What's that? 15 times 40.
Math.
Is it more than 800?
No, it's 600.
Yeah, you have another 600. I will say as far as history goes, how many cards was that, by the way?
3.
3. Yeah, anyone who walks in this room is gonna notice shit's missing. Like you have a 7 suspicion in this room right now. I mean, the nice thing is it's far enough away that someone has to be like going towards it. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Like normally this would be stupid to steal, but nobody's gonna be walking down here late at night.
Except that you didn't notice the Pope in the corner staring at you, going, "What the hell is this woman doing?"
It's like Knives Out. Ransom, is that you? By the way, who's seen Knives Out?
I mean,
I've heard good things.
I don't even believe it exists. I think you just made it up.
I was like, Knives Out. You will. I don't think you'll ever see a film where you're not like those actors are having fun more than that movie. Yeah. So as you go through as far as like the history goes, there's a number of things here that deal with like ancient ancestral stuff. You actually pull it's a very old sword from one of the great ancestors that you sort of pull off a wall and then put in for that's what 3 slots for you.
Okay.
Like how many cards? Yeah, how many cards? You play 3 cards. Yeah, that'll take up 3 slots. How many slots do you have left?
I don't think I have any slots left.
Yeah, so if you have check. So if you've got Hall, you have 1 level in Hall, which means you have the Hall 1. Each level in Hall is 2. Oh, actually, you should have Hall 1. Oh, Hall 2.
You probably sold the stuff you got from last session.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, you can also fill those 2 with Hall 1. So yeah, it's one of those things where the 4 slots 1, 2, 3. Well, 12 numbers for 4 slots. What you can kind of do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, basically you have a single slot left that you can take stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So this is one. If you just want to copy those into other slots, you know that those it's not 600 each slot, but it takes up 3. The other one takes up 4.
Yeah, but the 225 jewelry chalice and 20 medals, those are from Ravenholm, aren't they?
The 225 is from this session. The 20 medals is from the last session.
Oh yeah, I would just go ahead and throw that 20. If you just want to make a note, you've got 20 gold.
Okay.
Yeah, I would erase that slot. So that gives you 2 slots. Basically, everything except for your Hall. The fact that you're good at like packing or taking stuff means you have a little bit of extra room. You have 2 slots left.
Oh, awesome.
All right. So
9 points, 2 cards.
Yeah, as you sneak in, he doesn't seem to notice as he's kind of back into the writing that he's doing.
Okay. Stealth level in here?
Stealth level in here is because he's got the light and such going, it's going to be a 3.
Okay. Oof. Big oof. Okay. Well, I can hope. I'm going to creep up until I'm peering over his shoulder, and then I'm going to say, riveting stuff.
Huh? Okay, that I think I'm gonna go hearts with that, because that is getting his attention and then crack him over the head.
I wish I had a heart in my hand to.
I thought that's why you did that, because you're like, yeah, I'm gonna just boom.
Yeah,
right in your face.
I'm gonna say that clubs is suited as well because violence. So that is a 5 with 1 face down card for extra damage.
Okay, so the 5 against his sort of he's working, so there's a 3. His guile in that case is only gonna be a 2, so that succeeds. And there's and he is down to 1 wound.
Oh shit!
But he's not completely out.
Okay.
As you crack him, he's made a little bit of noise, but not necessarily enough to kind of go through. I'm assuming are you now in combat with him?
I guess I am.
All right. And then Twylla and Paul, what are you doing?
So I came around this corner and I ducked into this hallway, so I think I still have to play for that. I think since I was just trying to avoid this guy, I just came around the corner. So since that's kind of like a daring, not even looking before I enter maneuver, I'm going to say hearts.
Okay, so you're just heading to this room here?
I think, do I have to play for this hallway first?
Oh yeah, I would say you got in the hallway. So in the hallway you have a 5.
So is this hallway and this hallway 2 separate zones?
Oh, yeah, because you were in this hallway, then you moved into this one last turn, didn't you?
I moved into this one last turn, and then now I'm moving into this one.
Oh, I thought while they were doing that, yeah. So yeah, the cards you played, I thought got you into this hallway. So yeah, I'm asking for the next turn.
Okay.
Yeah,
so my recollection.
She stole the stuff at the same time. He went into the room, and you I thought went into this right hand hallway. That's why you moved your stuff there.
Okay.
So from here, are you going into one of the rooms?
Going into this room.
All right. Yeah, I will say finesse spades will be suited for you. And then Twyla, what are you doing?
Can I continue further into this? Because I think there's a little bit more. If
there might be a little bit more. There's not a whole lot left. Like you managed to have gotten most of it. Like you're kind of aware of that.
Okay.
But if you want to go with a little bit more, you could.
No, I think I'm good for now. I think that I'll probably make my way back up this hallway, and maybe look into one of the side rooms.
Okay, well you gotta go up to this other hallway, like up to this hallway first.
Okay.
Yeah. So if everybody wants to make your plays, that's an interesting thing in this because you can kind of go through and then everybody makes their plays separately. Like as they're putting the cards down, it does make that an easier kind of. Yeah, and yours is going to be finesse for being quiet. So it'll be what, spades? I'm sorry. Yeah, spades for finesse.
This hallway isn't very difficult, right? I'm not going to need.
Not a lot because like you have the guard that's kind of way up there. Like if you make enough noise, because he's a little bit alert because he heard something earlier. He'll have a few turns where he's just a little suspicious before he goes back down to the level below that.
Okay. I think I'll do that for now.
Combat, what's suited?
Oh, clubs, definitely.
Okay, I'm going to say diamonds too because I'm trying to put one over him on him in feint.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, is that hearts? Would that be diamonds or hearts? Would feints be more diamond or heart?
Oh, to feint?
Yeah,
but probably diamonds because like a feint
okay.
That's your guile. The hearts is more metal. That's like I'm just going after it. The diamonds is more like pop.
If you're pretending to pass out, then that's guile. If you're actually passing out, that's just kind of ballsy. So that would be hard.
So his thing is,
if you're actually passing out, you have too many wounds.
He has no weapons on him. So if he's hitting you, like the damage is 1. If he has combat, the dude doesn't look like he has combat experience. He just looks like a priest, not a priest that used to be a soldier. So you're guessing he probably has none there. So he's got like 1 point coming your way, which you could play a face down to stop, or you can take a bruised bit of damage.
Okay.
Or rather, you need to decide what you put from your successes into defense or attack.
Right. I get 8 points with a broken suit.
Okay, so and you have how much combat?
I have 1 combat. I intend to put it into armor, and if I succeed, do 1 wound.
Yeah. So you put it in armor. And what happens is he punches you. It's not going to do anything. He's not going to do any damage. What happens when he tries to punch you?
I catch his hand, and then I put him in a sleeper hold.
Yep.
Calm down, mate.
And then he just drops.
I put him to bed.
Okay. He is asleep. And as you're looking around, this is someone who's got their own kind of fairly large room. It is lavishly decorated. All right, and the other ones, Twyla, you've got no problem kind of going up there. And then what did you play, Paul, to kind of head in that room without being seen?
I don't think I'm going to be able to do it without being seen. So I think as I kind of peek into the room, this person kind of turns around, and I just use a concussive force blast to just knock her the hell out.
Oh, so you're attacking as you come in?
Yeah, but it's a magic attack, so
All right, so I would say with a magic attack, I'll go clubs for force.
oh, okay. I was hoping that
Well, you get to
since
choose.
Guile
You get
was
to
my
choose the other one.
yeah, I think Guile is my magic suit,
Yep. So I would
but
use.
six hopefully will be enough,
Are you
right?
placing any face down to do more damage?
Do I need to with a 6 if this is just a
You
priest?
got 1 point coming at her. So
Oh,
the 6, if it's enough, like her alertness, if she's working as a 3, like that 6 is probably enough to get someone who's distracted and has normal stuff. You have 1 point coming at her. You usually have 2 points, maybe 3, on a person as far as wounds go. You're doing 1 point for the attack, and then 1 for each card you put face down.
Paul, my priest had 4 hit points.
okay. And I can only do 2 face down?
You can do as many as you want face down, as many as you have in your hand.
All right. So that would be 3. See, the thing is, these other ones are good. And by the way, that one's, for
Okay.
you. It's my gift to you.
So are you doing a total? Are you doing a total of 3 points of damage, or are you going to do more?
I'm going to do more. I just have to figure out.
Do you have a point in combat?
Oh yeah. Do you have any points in combat?
I think so. Well, I don't know.
You have 1. Actually, that'll be an extra point. It's going to be 2 points of damage. Yeah, that 4 is probably going to be okay.
Is there a magic skill?
This is for combat. Like the physical skills are used for the combat. Arcana doesn't go in there because we're using the flavor of that.
Oh, so even if we're flavor texting it as like magic combat,
Because honestly, magic in here is not as it's not a D&D magic.
yeah, so it's still
it's much something. It's probably more less you doing a force blast, more you using a distractor, and then come in and.
Right.
Like I said, the couple spells you've got, it's not you don't have like a huge amount because magic is it exists, but it's fairly rare on a more powerful level.
Okay, so if I have a point in combat, then I don't need the 4th. I don't need the 3rd card to get the 4th point.
Yeah, because that'll be because this is an ambush. You'll have 1 point. So you have 1 point for the attack, 1 point for ambush, and then 2 for the two face down cards. So how do you knock her out?
I think I just make a little fluttering light appear like out of the corner of her eye, and when she turns to look, just clock her.
Yep. Hey, what's that?
And I'm gonna put her in the bed over here so that if anyone comes in here.
All right. What is everyone else? What in the next turn? What's everyone doing?
Don't forget your Joker.
Oh yeah, put that.
Can I put it over there?
What's I glance over at the stuff on the desk. Is there anything plot relevant that he was writing?
The stuff that he was writing was it looks like sort of plans of attack and information about things they're going to be doing. It's vague enough as you're looking over it. A lot of it includes it seems to be justifying the possible overthrow, but there's not enough in there to necessarily prove it. But there's enough there. There's enough other stuff where you could steal some stuff from it.
Okay. What looks like it's going to be juicy in this room? I've got culture, enginery, history, culture, enginery, finance, history, medicine.
Finance definitely also engineering. As you're looking at, there's some very well crafted things in here that because of the craftsmanship, the actual building and such of it, that you would be able to sell some.
Okay. Cool. So I will drop in. Whoops. I will drop in 15 across 2 cards.
And this is using your engineering.
Yes.
Okay.
And is there anything pretty in my room?
That will be 600. As you go in, you actually pull these. They're they're these sort of like puzzle boxes. These are extremely expensive and really delicate make. They're partially like some clock elements, some other stuff in there. As you're looking at it, like this is worth a ton to the right people, and you know the right people. All right, what are Twyla and
Do I get to loot that room as part of that action?
not as part of the action? You loot as a second action.
So I have to wait until the next turn to loot.
Well, that's what I'm asking. What everyone does after their like attack.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Yeah. So I want to loot my room. If there's anything pretty in here.
Yep. For you, yeah. As far as yes, with the stuff you've got, finance, you're actually seeing a lot of stuff about their books and other things that you know you could be able to take and sell, and some stuff that's worthy on that if you want to play to finance. That'll be a times 30.
Let's do 10. So 300 in
Yeah, if you want to make a note of books and you play 2 cards for it, so it'll take up 2 slots in your pack. If you want to make note that there's books and such you've taken. And Twyla, where are you going?
I think I want to follow that long hallway on the right, so like in here,
Okay.
like that area.
I would go ahead and make a stealth check.
Okay.
We'll kind of move you over here.
What is suited for this?
Finesse. It'll be spades.
I think I'm also going to say that diamonds are going to be suited for this. Yeah. And then one to decrease suspicion.
All right. Yeah, so 1. And usually 2 you're okay, unless you got someone who's super alert.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you end up there. Rick, if we take just like a couple minutes to quick bio break.
Yeah. Real quick,
Okay.
when we draw back up, is that when we go into the next room, or is that based on the stealth in the last room?
It's based on the self level of the room you're in right now. So it'll be 5 in the hallway. It'll be 3 in the rooms.
All right, so I should draw. Okay, right now. Okay. I don't remember us doing the worrying about suits when we played that one game.
Well, our thing is when we played before, because we people went into it like a heist. So
Yeah.
because of that, as I mentioned, I'm running a little bit too much like leverage. We didn't actually get to use the system much.
Okay, so we were just kind of using it as a framework.
Yeah, that was one of those things where like that's one of the things that kind of frustrated me a little bit. Partly because um, the one character was kind of like absurdly stupid to the point where the
Yeah,
stuff he was doing in a heist game would have been a little more workable. In this
yeah,
one, would not have been.
yeah. And I think he like because we explained it to him 4 or 5 times, and I think he still had a little trouble getting that this wasn't D&D. This was a bit more abstract.
Well, that was it. The moment he went with the "My name is Boris," I was like, "Oh no, he's gonna
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's gonna play the accent and not the
Like,
character."
I knock on the front door. No,
Yeah,
you're
so we didn't actually get to actually do the actual sneaking stuff, um, which is why like when Dominic and I first played the first session of this, it's like, oh yeah, this is how tense the game can get because we didn't really get a
yeah.
chance to do that.
I don't remember caring about my other than like for using special abilities. We didn't care about suits.
It's just because like you honestly did like 3 things in the Telbrook mansion because a lot of the
Yeah,
rest of it had been done sort of with some other.
yeah.
Okay, it's also question for you too, since we're here at this point. We're about 15 minutes away from sort of endpoint. Um, there's a possibility of a some looting and a quick um, uh, eavesdrop, which may kind of bring a bunch of stuff in, or we could do a thing where next week we finish this part up and possibly a quick, a little faster sneak and grab stuff to finish up the 4 sessions.
Is there a fourth heist planned?
There's definitely some stuff with like Reese that's a possibility that could actually be a little like relatively a little bit quicker. Because like this one's a fairly large open space. But as we're trying to keep things through there, we could do a thing where possibly next week we come and we finish this one up, and then we have that quicker fourth one to be finishing up the like this 4 session story.
Is this your setting or is this part of the system?
The general setting is part of the game.
So like the Jackdaws and Queen Eleanor, that's
Yeah.
core.
The Tree of Life and the Church of the Ancestors. If it was me, I probably would have just stolen the Hammerites straight out of Thief.
Is the campaign yours?
Yes.
Sweet.
Wait, so this is the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh / Hammerite /
Actually, that's our Blades in the Dark game, and that is part of Blades.
Yeah, but it's like it's the same church in all 3 universes.
Yeah, it's this is Church of the Ancestors. The Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh is in our Blades game.
Yeah, but you also refer to the Hammerites when you talk about them too.
I may have mentioned it because I've been playing a lot of Thief again too, and like the Hammerites are wonderful, but it's very different than it's closer what is in Blades in the Dark than here, and Blades in the Dark is also very much a Thief game.
Yeah. The Church of Hypocritical Hegemony.
So I guess Tom not ever going to join us in that game?
Oh, I haven't checked with Jetto. I don't know if the you mean Blades? I don't think so. He's never said anything on our Facebook.
Yeah, like because I just started using the other chat with just the 3 of us because let's not bother.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's a 3 of us. But anyway, do we want to? We're kind of close to the end. I don't know if it was like last week. I think Laura's got like school stuff in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we want
morning classes.
if we want to call it here to finish up next week, we could do a finish this up and then a quick thing at the end to sort of wrap the whole thing up.
Will the quick thing at the end be enough time to wrap everything up?
I think so. We can make it relatively like a faster, like a faster, more sort of dangerous. Like you gotta grab something, get out, and get done. Like basically, if you're running straight from here to something you'll find out about, probably with an eavesdrop you'll get later.
I mean, that sounds good to me. I'm flexible.
I can play for longer or break, whatever. I feel like if you see a cliffhanger coming up in the near future, then playing to that mode makes sense. If you don't see a cliffhanger coming up in the near future, then breaking now is as good as anything.
I see a possible cliffhanger coming up fairly quickly, and also an opportunity for a few people to do boots.
I'm open to whatever.
Okay.
I set my own rules. I live my own life.
Time has no meaning.
It really doesn't.
But I think if we do wait till next week, there's also, if we do this and then immediately have you go into the last thing, which we'll probably have to do with, like, because you'll find out information about where Reese is. And if you end up going straight to that, it could be a fairly quick, because we would lose the casing scene, go straight to it.
Mm.
That could work as well.
I'm going to spend 2 stress to call in the ministry and just fuck everything up.
I mean, the problem is they've got swords. Like once they have the well-armed military in the building, it's not quite call in the spy master.
Yeah. Actually, I think this would not be a bad place to stop, and then we can kind of have a thing where it goes straight from this to the next thing. Next time,
Okay.
we kind of skip the casing thing. We have some like time for role play and such in between, but then get that kind of like that last mission, probably to close it off, kind of nice, tense, and it won't be as it's not going to be as large as this one. This one gave you. This is a game where you could take a session or two to explore through a place thoroughly and steal stuff and do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
Did we do it, or like our primary goal here was?
You don't have all the information you need yet. You will find out some stuff about that relatively soon, and then getting back won't be that tough. Yeah, I think we can probably do the top of next week, and then go immediately to the sort of finale bit.
Okay. That sounds good.
Okay.
Have this be one of those thief missions where as soon as you get the primary objective, the level ends.
Yeah. I said, having played again through Thief 2 again, this is storytelling. I love the story.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Sweet, that was nice and tense, y'all. I still can't believe how much Twyla stole. Like, Twyla's walking out
so
like
happy.
tons of money.
From God, no less.
Yeah, I was blessed.
The church had it coming.
Well, sweet. In that case, I guess y'all have a great evening.
All right.
I'll catch you later.
See you guys next week.
Bye. Good to meet everyone.